போட்டுக்கொள்ளுங்க. சாரி and use it as a sari pin, you know, and you can wear it everywhere else. Rajan Anna or Napoleon Anna or Sampath sir is not going to be you know, having copyrights issue in wearing this on any other occasions, right sir? All right, so the AV is ready. Here's the recap of yesterday, what happened, and then we'll get going with the other proceedings.
அமெரிக்காவில் உலக தமிழர் பொருளாதார மாநாடு நடைபெறும் நிலையில் முதன்முறையாக அமெரிக்காவில் உலக தமிழர் பொருளாதார மாநாடு நடைபெறும் நிலையில் அங்கு நடிகர் நெப்போலியன், டாக்டர் ராஜன் நடராஜன், VRS சம்பத் ஆகியோருடன் எமது சிறப்பு செய்தியாளர் சலீம் நடத்திய சிறப்பு நேர்காணலை பார்க்கலாம்.
இந்தியா அமெரிக்கா உறவு கடும் சவால்களை சந்தித்துக் கொண்டிருக்கும் இந்த நேரத்தில் அமெரிக்காவில் வாழக்கூடிய நம் தமிழர்கள் மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு நடவடிக்கையை முன்னெடுத்திருக்கிறார்கள். அதுதான் 12வது உலக தமிழர் பொருளாதார மாநாடு முதல் முறையாக அமெரிக்காவில் நடக்கிறது. நம் தமிழர்களை பார்க்கும் பொழுது இவர்களுக்கு அறிமுகமே தேவையில்லை, அவர்களை பார்த்தாலே நீங்கள் அறிந்து கொள்வீர்கள். முதலில் திரு சம்பத் சார் அவர்களை கேட்க ஆசைப்படுகிறேன். சார், இந்த மாநாடு இந்த நேரத்தில் ஏன் முக்கியத்துவம் வாய்ந்தது?
அமெரிக்காவும் இந்தியாவும் இணைபெரியாத நண்பர்கள். இந்த நேரத்திலே மேலும் இணைபெரியாத நண்பர்களாக வாழ வேண்டும், வளர வேண்டும், ஒத்துழைக்க வேண்டும், அனைத்து துறைகளிலும் ஒன்றிணைந்து பணியாற்ற வேண்டும் என்பதற்கான முத்தாய்ப்பாக இந்த மாநாடை ஏற்பாடு செய்திருக்கிறோம். அமெரிக்க அரசாங்கம், இந்திய அரசாங்கம் ஒன்றிணைந்து இரண்டு நாடுகளுடைய குடிமக்களுக்கும் ஒருவருக்கு ஒரு பயனுள்ளதாக பல்வேறு திட்டங்கள், செயல்முறைகள் அமைய வேண்டும் என்பதற்காக இந்த மாநாட்டை ஏற்பாடு செய்திருக்கிறோம். தமிழர்கள் எப்பொழுதும் கலையில், மொழியில், இலக்கியத்தில் உயர்ந்தவர்களாக தன்னை நினைத்து செயலாக்கி கொண்டிருப்பவர்கள். அதே போல பொருளாதாரத்துறையிலும் முன்னுக்கு வர வேண்டும், வளர வேண்டும் என்பதற்காக நடத்தப்படுகிற இந்த மாநாடு அமெரிக்காவில் நடப்பதற்கான நோக்கம் சரியான நேரத்திலே, சரியான இடத்திலே, தலைநகரத்திலே, உலகத்தின் தலைநகராக விளங்கிக் கொண்டிருக்கிற வாஷிங்டனில் இந்த மாநாடு ஏற்பாடு செய்யப்பட்டிருக்கிறது.
உங்களுடைய தகவல்களுக்கு நன்றி சார். அடுத்ததாக டாக்டர் ராஜன் நடராஜன் அவர்களை கேட்க விரும்புகிறேன். அமெரிக்க அரசியல்வாதி என்று இவரை அழைக்கிறார்கள். அமெரிக்க தமிழ் அரசியல்வாதி. ஏற்கனவே மேரிலாண்ட் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு இடத்துல நாம பேசிக் கொண்டிருக்கோம். டெபியூட்டி செக்ரட்டரி ஆஃப் ஸ்டேட் என்ற பெரிய பதவியில் இருந்திருக்கிறார் டாக்டர் ராஜன் நடராஜன் அவர்கள். சார், இந்த நேரத்தில் இந்த ஈவெண்ட் எவ்வளவு முக்கியத்துவம் வாய்ந்தது, எம்மாதிரியான மாற்றங்களை இது செய்ய போகிறது?
இந்த 12வது உலக தமிழர் பொருளாதார மாநாடு வாஷிங்டனில் நடப்பதற்கு பல காரணங்கள் உண்டு. முக்கியமான காரணம் என்று சொல்லப்போனால் US இந்தியா ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் ஒரு 50 வருஷமா நல்லா போயிட்டு இருக்கு. மேலும் எப்படி இந்த ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் வலுப்படுத்துறது. ரெண்டாவது, ரீசெண்டாக சில சேஞ்சஸ் US இந்தியா ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்பில் இமிகிரேஷன் பாலிசி, சம் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் ட்ரேட் பாலிசி டிஸ்கஷன் போயிட்டு இருக்கு. அது மாதிரி தருணத்தில் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கான்ஃபரன்ஸை வாஷிங்டன் நகரத்தை நடத்தி இந்த மெசேஜை நாங்கள் எப்படி கன்வே பண்ணலாம். US இந்தியா ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் இஸ் ஸ்ட்ராங்கர் அண்ட் ஆல்சோ இந்த ரெண்டு கண்ட்ரி, த லார்ஜஸ்ட் டெமோக்ராட்டிக் கண்ட்ரி, இந்த ஓல்டஸ்ட் டெமோக்ராட்டிக் கண்ட்ரி ரெண்டும் சேர்ந்து எப்படி நம்ம பொருளாதாரத்துறையை முன்னேற்ற முடியும் அப்படிங்கிறது முக்கியம். அதற்கான தேவையான பல வகையான டாபிக்ஸை இன்னைக்கு அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். இது இட்ஸ் கோயிங் டு பி அமேசிங் ஈவென்ட் நெக்ஸ்ட் 3 days. தட் இஸ் தி மெயின் பர்பஸ்.
உங்களுடைய தகவல்களுக்கு மிக்க நன்றி சார். அடுத்ததாக இந்தியாவின் முன்னாள் மத்திய அமைச்சர் திரு நெப்போலியன் அவர்களை கேட்கவிருக்கிறோம். சார், உங்களுடைய பிரசன்ஸ் ஒரு மிகப்பெரிய நட்சத்திர அந்தஸ்தை இந்த மாநாட்டுக்கு கொடுத்திருக்கு. இந்த மாநாடு பற்றி உங்களுடைய கருத்து?
அதாவது இந்த மாநாடை தொடங்கணுங்கிறதுக்காக 12 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு முன்பே ஒரு வித்திட்டவர் சம்பத் சார். ஸோ அவர் தொடங்கின அந்த பயணத்தை நாங்கள் 2 பேரும் சேர்ந்து கரம் கோத்து அவர் அழைத்து கொண்டு போகிறோம். அதாவது உலகத்தில் இருக்கிற எல்லா தமிழர்களையும் ஒரு இடத்துல அசம்பிள் பண்ணி அவங்களுக்கு தேவையானதுகளை கான்டாக்டு, கனெக்டிவிட்டிஸு, அவங்களுக்கு தேவையான எல்லா விஷயம், அறிவு சம்பந்தமான விஷயங்கள் எல்லாத்தையும் பகிர்ந்துக்கிறதுக்காக ஒரு வாய்ப்பாக ஒவ்வொரு ஆண்டும் ஒவ்வொரு நாட்டில் நடத்திட்டு வராங்க. ஸோ இது அமெரிக்காவில் இந்த வருஷம் 12வது உலக தமிழ் மாநாடு நடத்துறது நாங்கள் ரொம்ப பெருமைப்படுறோம். காரணம் என்னென்னா, வெவ்வேறு நாடுகள் நடக்கும்போது அமெரிக்காவிலேருந்து குறைந்த பேர் தான் போய் கலந்துக்குவாங்க. இது அமெரிக்காவில் நிறைய பேர் இங்கே இருக்கும்போது, உலக பொருளாதாரத்தில் அமெரிக்கா மேலோங்கி முதல் நாடாக இருக்கும்போது இந்த நாட்டில் நடத்தினா மற்ற நாட்டிலேருந்து வர்றவங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப பயனுள்ளதாக இருக்குமே. அது குறிப்பாக நம்ம தமிழர்கள் அதிகமாக வாழ்கிற இந்த அமெரிக்காவில் வந்து எல்லாரும் ஒரு இடத்துல அசம்பிள் ஆனால் எல்லாருக்கும் ஒரு கனெக்டிவிட்டி கிடைக்கும், ஒரு அவங்களுடைய வளர்ச்சியை வந்து அடுத்த ஒரு லெவல் கொண்டு போகிறதுக்கு ஒரு வாய்ப்பாக இருக்கும். அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக இந்த மாநாட்டை தொடங்கியிருக்கிறாரு. அதுக்கு நாங்கள்லாம் அவரோட சேர்ந்து ஒத்துழைப்பு கொடுத்து இது பெரிய மாநாடாக நடத்திட்டு இருக்கோம்.
உங்களுடைய தகவல்களுக்கு மிக்க நன்றி சார். அமெரிக்காவில் வெள்ளை மாளிகை அருகே அமைந்திருக்கக்கூடிய மாநிலம் என்றால் அது மேரிலாண்ட் என்று நாம் நின்று பேசிக் கொண்டிருக்கும் இந்த மாநிலத்தை சொல்லலாம். இங்கே மிக முக்கிய தமிழர்கள், அமெரிக்காவில் கோலோச்சு கொண்டிருக்கின்ற தமிழர்கள் இந்த மாநாடு என்ற மிகப்பெரிய முன்னெடுப்பை இந்தியாவிற்கும் அமெரிக்காவிற்கும் பாலமாக செயல்படக்கூடிய ஒரு விஷயத்தை செய்திருக்கிறார்கள். முதல் முறையாக இந்த மாநாடு அமெரிக்க மண்ணில் நடக்கிறது. தந்தி டிவி இங்கிருக்கிறோம், இணைந்திருங்கள்.
So thank you also. For those non-Tamil speaking audience, we will do the same recap through our opening remarks. So Dr. Rajan, Dr. Sampath, they will be giving you the summary as in terms of what was discussed. It's, basically, what is the purpose of this? Why is this important? And how we can work collectively as two separate countries, as cousins, in terms of carrying forward our international relationship, trade, and economic foundation for beneficiary of both parties. That was the overarching 60,000 feet summary, but we'll go into a deep dive with Dr. Sampath and Dr. Rajan as they open the remarks for today.
உலக தமிழர் பொருளாதார மாநாடு.
Yeah, we're just testing whether you're paying attention. So that's all good. So Salim, thank you very much for doing the coverage on behalf of Thanthi TV, coming all the way from India and doing this coverage for us. Appreciate it very much. So opening remarks, we'll kickstart. We have a AV to introduce our first speaker, who is a very well-known individual here in Maryland. I don't have to introduce him formally. We've kickstarted this process yesterday, but we'll do it through an AV, and then we'll formally invite Dr. Rajan to address the audience with the key opening remarks, where he will be also summarizing what was covered on the video. Are we ready? All right, thank you.
Success and historic achievements don't happen overnight. They are built through vision, determination, and hard work. Dr. Rajan Natarajan's journey is a true testament to that. From his humble beginnings in a small village in Pudukkottai district, India, to becoming a leading biotech scientist in the US, a business executive, and the first Indian American to serve as Deputy Secretary of State in Maryland, and then Commissioner of Transportation, Dr. Natarajan's path is extraordinary. Today, as the founder of Global Alliant, a fast and smart growing technology company that has surpassed $100+ million in just 5 years, he continues to set new benchmarks. Beyond his professional success, he is a devoted husband to a biotech scientist and a proud father of 2 sons. His journey is marked by resilience, vision, and many remarkable turning points. But Dr. Natarajan's story goes far beyond titles and achievements. It is about service and community. He champions diversity, empowers entrepreneurs, and mentors young professionals. Through his think tank initiative, he is transforming interns and youth into innovators, entrepreneurs, and startup leaders. For him, true success is not measured by personal milestones alone, but by creating opportunities and lifting others along the way. Carrying his vision back to his roots, he established Smart Village Center in his district for opening doors and supporting young graduates, and guiding them toward meaningful and fulfilling career growth and entrepreneurship. Dr. Rajan Natarajan's life is one of resilience, impact, and leadership. His unwavering commitment to public service and business innovation reminds us that with passion and purpose, success is not only possible, it's inevitable. Thank you very much.
Wow, this is amazing. Whoever did this video introduction, thank you very much. It's really beyond my expectations. Thank you. Who did? Bharat, you did? Somebody did, I don't know. Thank you so much. It's a very good collection. It's good remembrance. Thank you. Well, good morning once again. காலை வணக்கம் அனைவருக்கும். Once again, I am very pleased and honored to make a welcome remark, opening remark. I did yesterday full in English. Today somebody requested me, please mix mother tongue and English. I will try my best. But first of all, I want to really thank you all for being here for the 12th World Tamil Economic Conference. This is going very well, second day, fantastic. It's a historic conference. We talked about a lot of history yesterday. It's a fantastic second day conference happened. For this conference, we have amazing, amazing dignitaries, elected officials. Still there are somebody are coming. Already here on time. Honorable Comptroller Maryland, Brooke Learman. Brooke, please raise your hand. Thank you. He's a great friend. All are my friends also. I am their friend too. Then Honorable former Secretary of Commerce and also Secretary of Labor and great mentor of Maryland Tech Council and President, Honorable Kelly Solch. Thank you very much for coming here. In few minutes, we will receive former Lieutenant Governor, Honorable Boyd Rutherford. He'll be here in few minutes. So luckily, we have an amazing distinguished speaker that Saturday morning, they give up their personal time. Thank you once again for being here, everyone. Thank you. I said this was a historic event happening in Washington, D.C. Tamil பேச try பண்றேன், but still I try, happening. Why it is happening in Washington, D.C.? Oh, our Lieutenant Governor is here, please. Welcome, thank you so much for being here. So many people asked me why this is happening in Washington, D.C. Of course, everyone spoke already. This is a very historic moment. This is a very critical time. The relationship between US and India is, of course, has been going very well, but we want to strengthen more. That could be another reason. அதனால தான் வாஷிங்டனில் இந்த கான்ஃபரன்ஸை நம்முடைய விஷனரி லீடர் டாக்டர் சம்பத்தினுடைய ஆலோசனைப்படி இங்கே இன்னைக்கு நடத்திக்கிட்டு இருக்கோம். That's the main reason. Yesterday, we had a wonderful inauguration. You all really, watched that one. We had many distinguished leaders. Of course, our Lieutenant Governor Adithanar was here, and the Secretary of State Susan Lee was here, and the Senator Kannan Srinivasan. It was fantastic. So yesterday, one of my friends told me, Rajan, the inauguration was very nice. பக்கத்தில் வந்து சொன்னாரு, so far you have seen only the trailer. The real movie starts today. So I asked him, what do you mean? Sir, I will watch movie only after watching the trailer. So I watched the trailer yesterday. The movie is going to be pretty good today. I also believe the same thing. So I'm sure you're all going to enjoy the rest of the today's conference. To keep this conference going well, being successful, there are so many people are involved here, but because of the shortage of time, ஒரு சில பேர் I want to recognize. Last few months, worked day and night, guided, mentored, supported our former Central Minister of India, Honorable Napoleon film star. He is here. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your amazing help. And also, why we are all here, how we are all here, because of one man. That is our visionary leader, foundational leader, World Tamil Economic Foundation உடைய நிறுவனர், founder, Dr. V.R. Sampath. Dr. V.R. Sampath, thank you. He brought us together, not only us, he brought people from 14 countries. This conference happened 11 times in 11 different locations, different countries. First time it is happening in the US. So thank you, Dr. Sampath, for giving us this opportunity. This is amazing. And also I was telling the secretary, not only this conference happening first time in the US, to my knowledge, I hope someone will witness, first time ethnic community, Tamil American community, hosting 3-day business conference. This is the one, fully packed. So we are very proud of all these organizers who is hosting this conference, really, very good. Then, one of the pillars of this conference, convener, my good friend, Raja Raman. Thank you so much for working with me last, several months. Similarly, there are so many leaders involved. I really want to recognize and thank you, everyone. Well, also I want to extend my special recognition and thanks to all the sponsors who really made this conference possible. I want to really recognize them. Please stand up. Do you have the book? Yeah, I have. Do you have the conference flyer, please? Rajaram. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I really want to, everyone please raise your hand or stand up when I call, because this conference really made possible because of the sponsors. Of course, the Global Alliance is a platinum sponsors, and Honorable Nepoli and the Duraisamy family, platinum. Thank you very much for generous support, sir. This is very big. Thank you, thank you. Not only he invested his, capital, his time is very, very valuable. Thank you. Business Integra, silver sponsor, are they here? Not here. Noble Q, Caldwell, okay. Virchulan, thank you, Virchulan. He really worked hard. Without asking, he did so many things for us. Thank you. He's from Chicago. Thank you, Ilan. VDOT, is Siddhi here? Okay, he'll be here. Then VIT. And also we have executive sponsors, Somareddy, Balagan Tax Services. I saw Balagan here. Thank you, thank you. Rockwell Metals, Viva Tech, Vivsoft, BBI, Nexolve, Arokia now. Are they here? I saw somebody there. SRM Tech, Manivanan sir. Thank you, thank you. ISOP, Sadhuram, Vendorship, Plateau, Jay was here. Thank you. Devji, thank you. Arc Infotech, Data Light, iWorks, Larvan, I saw Bala was here. Northwestern Mutual Fund, Minute Maid Press, Red Pulley, that's Ramesh here. A2B, amazing breakfast. Then Carson Solution, then AJAS. Thank you all very much. This fantastic for your support. What's that? Sorry. Oh, and sir, thank you very much for your support. You have been here, not only for this conference, in the last 11 conferences. Yeah. Well, like we had a wonderful key remarks. Again, today we are going to have a distinguished speaker speaking, giving various topics. Mainly, they are going to talk about US-India relationship, how Indian Americans are rising in the country, how they are helping, working with in the mainstream. I think that will be their focus. And I am really hopeful that this conference is a milestone for all of us to have a journey together. So we have an amazing program today. Have a wonderful, productive conference. Thank you all. Nandri Vanakkam. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rajan. One more time, could we give a round of applause to a proud Tamil American. I consider as a proud Tamil American in terms of carrying our flag here in this part of the world in terms of wearing multiple hats. So thank you, sir, for your continuous support, continuous leadership, and carrying our flag around the globe and around here in the US. Appreciate it very much. So the next speaker, you all know who he is. I don't have to formally introduce him. Apart from his height, he's, உள்ளத்தால் உயர்ந்த மனிதன் என்று தமிழ்ல சொல்லுவோம். A big and a loyal heart to whatever he touches. That will be proven on an AV that we have produced for you. Honorable Napoleon Duraisamy Annan, he will be on stage next. But before that, we have an AV capturing his milestones and how he has made his path from a humble beginning to where he is now. All right, thank you all.
சாதாரண ஆரம்பம், ஆனால் அசாதாரண உயர்வு. சினிமாவில் நாயகர், அரசியலில் சேவகர், தொழிலில் முன்னோடி, விளையாட்டில் ஆர்வலர், குடும்பத்தில் அன்பின் உருவம், மக்களுக்கு உதவும் தோழமை. இந்த பன்முக ஆளுமையின் பெயர்தான் நம்முடைய திரு நெப்போலியன் துரைசாமி அவர்கள். திரை உலகின் வரலாற்றில் ஒரு கதாநாயகன் உருவாகலாம், ஆனால் ஒரு வில்லன் தன் உழைப்பால் மக்கள் மனங்களில் நிரந்தரமான ஹீரோவாக சிம்மாசனம் போடுவது அரிதிலும் அரிது. திரையில் நம்மை சிரிக்க வைத்தவர், சிந்திக்க வைத்தவர், சில காட்சிகளில் நம் கண்களை கலங்க வைத்தவர். இவர் ஒரு நடிகர் மட்டுமல்ல, நவரசங்களின் சகாப்தம். தமிழ், தெலுங்கு, மலையாளம், கன்னடங்களை ஊக்குவிக்கும் பேஷனேட் மென்டார். இவர் ஒரு சமூக சேவகர். தனது சொந்த முயற்சியால் இவர் உருவாக்கிய மயோபதி ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் மூலம் Honorable Napoleon Duraisamy at the 12th World Tamil Economic Conference Global Summit.
பனிரெண்டாவது உலகத் தமிழ் மாநாட்டிற்கு இந்த சிறப்பு அழைப்பாளர்களாக வருகை தந்திருக்கும் மதிப்பிற்கும் மரியாதைக்கும் உரிய ஹானரபிள் ஃபார்மர் லெப்டினன்ட் கவர்னர் பயான் ரூதர்ஃபோர்ட் அவர்களே, இந்த விழாவிற்கு சிறப்பு அழைப்பாளராக வருகை தந்திருக்கும் கம்ட்ரோலர், மேரிலாந்து ஸ்டேட்டுடைய கம்ட்ரோலர் ஹானரபிள் புரூக் எலிசபெத் ரீட்மேன் அவர்களே, மேரிலாண்டுடைய டெக் கவுன்சில் தலைவராக இருக்கும் ஹானரபிள் ஃபார்மர் செக்ரட்டரி, காமர்ஸ் செக்ரட்டரி கெல்லி செல்ஸ் அவர்களே, மற்றும் இந்த விழாவை சிறப்பாக நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கும் எங்களுடைய விழா நாயகன் தலைவர் VRS சம்பத் அவர்களே, இந்த விழாவை அமெரிக்காவில் சிறப்பாக நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கும் என்னுடைய அன்பு சகோதரர் டாக்டர் ராஜன் நடராஜன் அவர்களே, மற்றும் கன்வீனர் ராஜாராம் அவர்களே, செல்வா அவர்களே, எலிசா அவர்களே, மற்றும் இங்கு வருகை தந்திருக்கும் தொழில் முனைவோர்களே, பெரியோர்களே, நண்பர்களே, உங்களுக்கு அனைவருக்கும் என்னுடைய காலை வணக்கத்தை முதலில் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். என்ன இங்கே நிறைய பேர் முதல் தடவையாக பார்க்குறாங்க. நிறைய பேர் முதல் தடவையாக பார்க்கும்போது, சார் நீங்கள் இந்தியாவிலேருந்து எப்போ வந்தீங்க அப்படின்னாங்க. இந்தியாவிலேருந்து வரலைங்க, நான் வந்து டெனசிலேருந்து நேஷ்வில்லேருந்து வந்திருக்கேன். ஓ, நீங்கள் இப்போ இந்தியாவில் இல்லையா? ஏன்னா வெவ்வேறு நாடுகள்லேருந்து வந்திருக்கிறாங்க. உலகத்தில் இருக்கிற பல்வேறு நாடுகள்லேருந்து நம்மளுடைய தொழில் முனைவோர்கள் வந்திருக்கீங்க. அவங்களுக்கு அதிகமாக தெரிஞ்சிருக்க வாய்ப்பு இல்லை. நான் வந்து அமெரிக்காவுக்கு வந்து 15 இயர்ஸ் ஆச்சு. 15 இயர்ஸ் பிஃபோர் ஐ கேம் அண்ட் செட்டில் இன் டெனசி நேஷ்வில். ராஜன் நடராஜன் சொன்ன மாதிரி அவர் ஆங்கிலம் தான் அதிகமாக பேசுவார். தமிழில் பேச பேச அப்பப்போ முயற்சி செய்கிறேன்னாரு. அது மாதிரி எனக்கு தமிழை தவிர எல்லாம் தகராறு தான். ஆனால் நான் அப்பப்போ ஆங்கிலத்தில் இவங்களுக்காக பேசுகிறதுக்கு நான் முயற்சி செய்கிறேன். ஸோ வந்து 15 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடியே நான் அமெரிக்கா வந்துட்டேன். என்னுடைய ஏன் இங்கே அமெரிக்கா வந்தேன், ஏன்னா இந்த வீடியோவில் இவ்வளோலாம் பண்ணியிருக்காரு, அப்புறம் எதுக்கு இங்கே வந்தார், எல்லாரும் மனசுலேயும் ஒரு கேள்வி இருக்கும். ஏன்னா என்னுடைய குழந்தை வந்து I have 2 sons. My first son was affected muscular dystrophy. He can't walk, he is in the wheelchair. We don't have that kind of facilities in India. That's why I quit all my position. I moved here. So, ஏன்னா இந்த மாதிரி நோய்க்கு வந்து குணப்படுத்த முடியாது. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு சூழ்நிலையில் எங்கே உலகத்தில் எங்கே நல்ல ஒரு ட்ரீட்மெண்ட்டு, எங்கே ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு என்வாயர்மெண்ட்டு இருக்கும் அப்படிங்கிறத தேடும்போது அமெரிக்கா தான் தி பெஸ்ட்டு. பொதுவாக நம்ம ஆளுங்க தமிழ்நாட்டில் குறிப்பாக படிச்சுட்டு வேலை தேடுற இளைஞர்கள் வந்து என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா, நல்லா படிச்சிருவாங்க, வேலை வந்து அவங்க தகுதிக்கேற்ற திறமைக்கேற்ற உழைப்புக்கேற்ற வேலை கிடைக்காது. அப்போ எங்கே போகலாம் அப்படின்னு யோசிக்கும்போது வேறு நாட்டுக்கு போய் வேலை பார்க்கலாம் அப்படின்னு ஆசைப்படுவாங்க. வேறு நாட்டுக்கு போகலான்னா எந்த நாடு? பக்கத்தில் இருக்க பாகிஸ்தான் போக முடியுமா? போக முடியாது. பக்கத்தில் பங்களாதேஷ் போக முடியுமா? போக முடியாது. ஸ்ரீலங்காவில் நம்மளால மாதிரி தான் அவங்களும் வேலை தேடிக்கிட்டு இருக்காங்க. நமக்கு சரிசமமாக இருக்கிற அந்த இளைஞர்களும் கஷ்டப்படுவாங்க. நம்ம போய் அவங்கள தொந்தரவு பண்ணக்கூடாது. பக்கத்தில் அடுத்து நேபாள் போக முடியுமா? போக முடியாது. பூட்டான் போக முடியுமா? போக முடியாது. அப்போ பக்கத்தில் இருக்க அண்டை நாடுகளில் போய் நம்ம இளைஞர்கள் போய் வேலை தேடி போக முடியாது. அப்போ எங்கே போகணும்? அடுத்து மிடில் ஈஸ்ட் போகணும், இல்லைன்னா சிங்கப்பூர், மலேசியா அந்த பக்கம் போகணும். ஸோ சிங்கப்பூர், மலேசியாவில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா படிப்புக்கேற்ற வேலை கிடைக்கிறது ரொம்ப குறைவு. ஏன்னா அங்கே வந்து ஒர்க்கிங் கேட்டகரிஸ், லேபர் கேட்டகரிஸ் தான் நிறைய வேலைகள் கிடைக்குது அங்கே. அதே மாதிரி மிடில் ஈஸ்ட்லேயும் தான் அப்படி தான். அப்போ யூரோப் கண்ட்ரிஸ் போயிடலாம் அப்படின்னு நினைச்சா, யூரோப் கண்ட்ரிஸில் போச்சுன்னா உங்களுக்கு ஜெர்மன் போனால் டச் பேசணும், இட்டாலி போனால் இட்டாலி பேசணும், ஸ்பெயின் போனால் ஸ்பானிஷ் பேசணும், ஃப்ரான்ஸ் போனால் ஃப்ரெஞ்சு பேசணும். அப்போ யூரோப்பில் எந்த கண்ட்ரிலையும் போய் நமக்கு அங்கே அந்த மொழி கற்றுக்கிட்டு வேலை தேடுறது கஷ்டம். ஏன்னா நம்ம தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருக்க யாருமே வந்து தமிழ், அதுக்கப்புறம் ஆங்கிலம், இந்த 2 தான் படிப்பாங்க. ஹிந்தி படித்தா நம்ம வடநாட்டுக்கு போகலாம். நம்ம நாட்டில் ஆரம்ப காலத்துலேருந்து நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சு விவரம் வந்து யாரும் ஹிந்தி படிக்கிறது இல்லை. தமிழ்நாட்டை தாண்டி ஆந்திரா போனால் என்ன பாவுனரா போஜனைந்தா தெலுங்கு பேசணும். அதே மாதிரி கன்னடா போனால் இந்த ஊத்தாய்த்தா அப்படின்னு பேசணும். இந்த பக்கம் மலையாளத்துக்கு போனால் அந்த மொழி செந்தா சுகந்தனே அப்படின்னு பேசணும். ஸோ வடநாட்டுக்கு போனால் ஹிந்தி பேசணும். ஹிந்தி பேசும்போது இந்த நான் வந்து 5 ஆண்டு காலம் பார்லிமெண்ட்டில் இருந்தேன். எல்லா எம்பிஸும் ஒடியாருவாங்க, வேகமாக வந்து பார்லிமெண்ட்டில் ஏதோ பிரச்சனை பண்ணி போர்டை வச்சுட்டு ஒடியாருவாங்க. எதுக்குங்க வந்திருக்காங்க, என்ன எழுதியிருக்கு ஹிந்தியில், ஏன் சத்தம் போடுறாங்க, நாங்கள் மத்திய அமைச்சர்னாங்க, ஆனால் எதுவுமே எங்களுக்கு தெரியாது. இவங்க இந்த பக்கம் ஒரு 10 பேர் வந்து இந்த வெளியில் நிற்பாங்க, உடனே இந்த பக்கம் ஒரு 10 பேர் வந்து நிற்பாங்க, அவங்க கவுக்கன்னு கத்துவாங்க ஹிந்தியில். இவங்க எதுக்கு கத்துறாங்க எதுவுமே தெரியாது. சபையை ஒத்தி வச்சிடறேன்னு போயிடுவாங்க. என்னன்னே புரியாமல் 5 வருஷம் நாங்கள் இருந்தோம் ஹிந்தி தெரியாமல். ஏதோ ஆங்கிலத்தில் பேசுனாங்க எனக்கு ஓரளவு தெரியும். அந்த மாதிரி நம்ம இளைஞர்கள் வந்து வடநாட்டில் போய் ஏதாவது பிழைக்கலாம்னா அங்கே பிழைக்க முடியாது. அப்போ எங்கே தான் போகிறது? அண்டை நாடுகளும் போக முடியாது. மலேசியா, சிங்கப்பூர் அந்த ஏரியாவில் சின்ன நாடு, அங்கே போக முடியாது. மிடில் ஈஸ்டில் வந்து ஒர்க்கிங் கேட்டகரி, லேபர் கேட்டகரி தான் அதிகமாக வேலை கொடுக்குறாங்க. சாஃப்ட்வேர் படித்தவங்க அந்த மாதிரி கொடுக்க முடியாது. அப்போ யூரோப்பு போக முடியாது. அப்போ எங்கே தான் போக முடியும்? எங்கெல்லாம் உலகத்தில் ஆங்கிலம் பேசுகிறாங்களோ அந்த நாட்டுக்கு தான் போக முடியும், நம்ம பிழைக்க முடியுங்கிற இளைஞர்களுடைய அந்த கனவோட அந்த ஆங்கிலம் பேசுகிற எந்தெந்த நாடு? அமெரிக்கா, கனடா, யுனைடெட் கிங்டம், ஆஸ்திரேலியா, நியூசிலாந்து, இந்த 5 கண்ட்ரியில் தான் நம்ம போய் இளைஞர்கள் அவங்க படிப்புக்கேற்ற திறமைக்கேற்ற வேலை தேட முடியும். அந்த 5 கண்ட்ரிலே எது பெஸ்ட் கண்ட்ரி? ஏன்னா யூகே அருமையான கண்ட்ரி தான், ஆனால் நம்மளை ஆண்டவர்கள் 200 வருஷம் நம்மளை ஆண்டவர்கள். அதனால் அங்கே போகிறதுக்கு ஒரு தயக்கம் இருக்கும். அங்கேருந்து பிரிஞ்சது தான் ஆஸ்திரேலியா. அங்கேருந்து போனவங்க தான் அந்த ஆஸ்திரேலியா இருக்காங்க, அவங்களுக்கும் அந்த ஒரு மனப்பான்மை இருக்கும். அங்கேருந்து பிரிஞ்சவங்க தான் நியூசிலாந்து, அவங்க கொஞ்சம் சாஃப்ட். நான் நிறைய அங்கே ஆஃபீஸ்லாம் வச்சுருந்தேன், ரொம்ப சாஃப்டாக இருப்பாங்க அந்த ஆனால் நாடு சின்ன நாடு. அப்போ பெரிய நாடு எது? கனடாவுக்கு போகலாம், ஆனால் பாதி ஒரு பனிமூட்டமாக இருக்கும், பனியாக இருக்கும், மக்கள் வாழவே முடியாதது, அவ்வளோ கோல்டாக இருக்கும், -50 டிகிரிலாம் இருக்கும். அப்போ அந்த தென்பகுதியில் தான் இருப்பாங்க மக்கள் அந்த கனடாவில். அது 3.5 கோடி தான் ஜனத்தொகை மொத்தமே. அப்போ அதிகமாக வாழக்கூடியது, எல்லா இமிகிரண்ட்ஸுக்கும் மரியாதை கொடுத்து உலகத்தில் இருக்க எல்லா அறிவுபூர்வமாக இளைஞர்களுக்கு யாருக்கும் வேலைவாய்ப்பு கொடுக்குற ஒரே நாடு அமெரிக்கா தான். அப்போ அமெரிக்காவை தேடி தான் அங்கே எல்லாருமே வரணும். நான் என்ன பண்ணுறேன், நான் வேலை தேடி வரல, நான் மருந்து தேடி வர்றேன். என் பிள்ளைக்கு எங்கே மருந்து, எங்கே ஒரு நல்ல வசதி அப்படின்னு கேடும்போது அமெரிக்கா தான் தி பெஸ்ட் அப்படிங்கிறப்ப நானும் அமெரிக்கா தேடி வந்தேன். நிறைய பேர் கேட்டாங்க, அமெரிக்காவில் எங்கே இருக்கீங்க? வாஷிங்டன் டிசிலையா இருக்கீங்கன்னு கேட்டாங்க. நான் வாஷிங்டன் டிசியில் இல்லைங்க, நான் டென்னசி நேஷ்வில்ல இருக்கேன். ஏன் டென்னசி நேஷ்வில்ல செலக்ட் பண்ணீங்க அப்படின்னு கேட்டாங்க. நான் சொன்னேன், அமெரிக்காவில் நார்த் சைடு ஃபுல்லாக ரொம்ப கோல்டாக இருக்கும், சவுத் சைடு ஃபுல்லாக ரொம்ப ஹாட்டாக இருக்கும். இது மிட் பிளேஸுங்க. மிட் பிளேஸில் இருக்கிறனால 4 சீசன் ரொம்ப நல்லாயிருக்கும். ஃபாலு, ஸ்ப்ரிங்கு, சம்மர் அண்ட் வின்டர் 4 சீசனுமே பெஸ்ட் பிளேஸ். அதனால் நான் டென்னசியை செலக்ட் பண்ணேன். அது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் எனக்கு சாஃப்ட்வேர் கம்பெனி, ஜீவன் டெக்னாலஜி சாஃப்ட்வேர் கம்பெனி வச்சுருக்கேன். அங்கே எனக்கு நிறைய யங்ஸ்டர்ஸ்க்கு அங்கே வேலை கிடச்சிருக்கு, அங்கே கெஸ்ட் ஹவுஸ் இருக்குது. அதனால் என்னுடைய கிளைண்ட்ஸ் அங்கே இருக்காங்க. நானும் அங்கே ஒரு சின்னதாக போனால் தங்கிறதுக்காக ஒரு வீடு வாங்கி வச்சுருக்கேன். அதனால் நான் ஃபேமிலியோடு அங்கே மூவ் ஆகிறேன். அதுவும் இல்லாமல் அது வேர்ல்டு ஃபேமஸ் கண்ட்ரி மியூசிக் சிட்டி நேஷ்வில். நான் ஒரு சினிமாக்காரன், ஸோ சினிமா ரிலேட்டடாக ஒரு மியூசிக் கண்ட்ரியாக இருக்கேன், மியூசிக் சிட்டியாக இருக்கேன்னு அதை செலக்ட் பண்ணேன். 2வது டென்னசிங்கிறது டிஎன், தமிழ்நாடும் டிஎன், ஸோ அதனால் நமக்கு ரிலேட்டடாக இருக்குது. அப்படி தான் செலக்ட் பண்ணி நான் அங்கே போய் செட்டில் ஆனேன். எல்லாருக்கும் ஆசை தலைநகரத்தில் இருக்கணுமேனு. நான் தலைநகரத்தில் 5 ஆண்டு காலம் மக்கள் பணி ஆற்றினேன், மத்திய அமைச்சராக இருந்து டெல்லியில். அதே மாதிரி இங்கேயும் வாஷிங்டன் டிசியில் ஒரு வீடெல்லாம் பார்த்தோம், ரொம்ப டிராஃபிக். இந்த ஊரில் இருக்க டிராஃபிக் மாதிரி உலகத்தில் எங்கேயுமே பார்க்க முடியாது, அவ்வளோ டிராஃபிக். அது இல்லாமல் நான் அடிக்கடி இந்தியாவுக்கு மாதம் ட்ராவல் பண்ணி போயிடுவேன். என் ஒய்ஃபு குழந்தைங்களை வச்சுட்டு ஸ்கூலுக்கு போகிறது, ஹாஸ்பிட்டலுக்கு போகிறது, அங்கே போகிறது ரொம்ப கஷ்டமாக இருக்கும். ஒரு சின்ன ஊராக செலக்ட் பண்ணி அங்கே போயிடுவோம் அப்படின்னு சின்ன ஊராக செலக்ட் பண்ணி போனேன். 2014 நான் ஷார்ட் ஃபிலிம் காம்படிஷனை போய் இதில் தொடங்கி வச்சேன் கலிஃபோர்னியாவில். அப்போ என்னை கேட்டாங்க, சார் எங்கேருந்து வரீங்க, நீங்கள் ஃப்ரெஷ்ஷாக இருக்கீங்களே, ஜெட்லாக்லாம் ஒன்றும் இல்லையா? இல்லைங்க, எங்கேருந்து தான் வர்றேன், நேஷ்வில். நீங்கள் இந்தியாவிலேருந்து வரலையா? இல்லை, இங்கே தாங்க இருக்கேன். என்ன நேஷ்வில்னு வில்லேஜில் போய் இருக்கீங்க, இந்த மாதிரி கலிஃபோர்னியாவில் இருக்கலாமே அப்படின்னாங்க. நான் சொன்னேன், அப்படி இல்லை, எனக்கு அது பிடிச்சிங்க அந்த ஊர், அதனால் போயிருக்கேன். இப்போ நீங்கள் எங்கேருந்து வரீங்க? நான் திண்டுக்கல் பக்கத்தில் மலாடி வாரத்தில் ஒரு கிராமம் இருக்குங்களே, அங்கே தான். நீயும் கிராமத்தில் தான் வர்ற, ஏன் கிராமம்னா உனக்கு என்ன அவ்வளோ இழிவா? கிராமத்தில் தானே எல்லா மனிதர்களும் வந்துருக்குறோம். இன்றைக்கி உலகம் பூரா பரவி கிடக்கிற தமிழர்கள் போய் கிராமத்துலேருந்து போய் படித்து பிறாகி உலகம் பூரா இன்றைக்கி சாதிக்கிறாங்கன்னா, எதையும் நீங்கள் இழிவாக பேசாதீங்க, குறைவாக பேசாதீங்க. அவனுடைய திறமையும் உழைப்பும் தமிழர்கிட்ட இருக்கிற திறமையும் உழைப்பும் உலகத்தில் யார்ட்டுமே கிடையாது. உலகம் பூரா எங்கே போனாலும், நான் நிறைய நாடுகள் போயிருக்கேன், அங்கே பூரா தமிழர்கள் இன்னைக்கு கொடி கட்டி பறக்கிறாங்க. அதே மாதிரி தான் இங்கேயும் தமிழர்கள் மிகப்பெரிய உள்ள பெரிய பெரிய பொறுப்பில் நேற்று மேடையில் பேசினாங்க. நம்ம சுந்தர் பிச்சையெல்லாம் அங்கே தான் இருக்கிறார், கூகுளுடைய சிஇஓ சுந்தர் பிச்சை. அது மாதிரி பெரிய பெரிய தலைவர்கள்லாம் அங்கே இருக்கிறாங்க. அந்த வகையில் நம்ம எல்லாம் இங்கே உங்களெல்லாம் சந்தித்ததில் மற்றற்ற மகிழ்ச்சி. இன்னும் வந்திருக்க சிறப்பு அழைப்பாளர்கள் நிறைய பேசணும். நான் பேசினா மைக்கு அரசியல்வாதியை 3 மணி நேரம் பேசிக்கிட்டே இருப்பேன். அதனால் வந்த சிறப்பு அழைப்பாளர்கள்லாம் பேச வேண்டியிருக்கனால நான் மாலை செக்ஷனில் உங்கள்கிட்ட நிறைய பேசுகிறேன். வந்திருக்க அனைவருக்கும் வருக வருக என்று கூறி உங்களுடைய மேலான கருத்துக்களை பதிய வைக்க வேண்டிய இந்த மேடை தான் இந்த மேடை. உங்களுக்கு யாருக்கு என்ன தோணுதோ சம்மந்தப்பட்டவங்கள்ட்ட பேசுங்க, ராஜன் சார்கிட்ட சொல்லுங்கள், உங்களுடைய கருத்துக்களை பதிய வைங்க. உங்களுக்கு என்ன கேள்வி இருந்துச்சுன்னா அதுக்குண்டான சம்மந்தப்பட்டவர்கள் கேட்டு தெரிஞ்சுங்க. இந்த மாநாடு சிறப்பான மாநாடு, உங்களுக்கான மாநாடு. வந்த அனைவருக்கும் நன்றி கூறி விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி, நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Thank you. So for those non-Tamil speaking audience, in summary, in a 60,000 feet angle, He spoke about his humble beginning in terms of where he started and what made him to come to the US. It's for his kids' medical treatment, and then forming from there onwards in terms of an IT technological firm, and here he is with us. He will have his one-on-one session this afternoon. You're more than welcome to ask questions and have a sidebar conversation as well. Let's move forward in introducing in the நிகழ்ச்சி இந்த பிதாமகன் 12 வருடங்களுக்கு முன் ஆரம்பித்த வித்து அல்லது பூட்ட வித்து இன்று விருட்சமாக அமெரிக்க தலைநகரில் வந்திருக்குது. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to Dr. V.R. Sampath, who is the innovator and creator of this conference 11 years ago. This is the 12th one. We do have an AV playing on behalf of him in introducing who he is, what he has done, and where we are going with this. AV ready?
Dr. V.R.S. Sampath, also known as Sampath Rajsekaram, has dedicated his life to focusing on uniting Tamils worldwide and bringing their issues to the proper platforms. He's a true scholar with degrees in history, law, and tourism. For over 40 years, he has successfully established and managed various social service organizations, youth clubs, and cultural centers while serving as the president of the Madras Development Society. A legal luminary, he holds a PhD in legal history and is the editor and publisher of Satta Kadar, the only Tamil language legal monthly magazine. V.R.S. Sampath is the perfect example of someone who truly embodies the saying, Yadum Ure Yavarum Kelir. His name resonates deeply within the Tamil community across the world, underscoring his influence and connection. He is, quite truly, a global citizen. Dr. Sampath founded the World Tamil Economic Foundation with the aim of bringing the world's Tamil economic community together as one family. He's brought this idea to life by conducting 11 World Tamil Economic Conferences around the globe. When the global pandemic hit, he didn't miss a beat, organizing a seamless online conference. This year, he envisioned bringing this conference to the United States. This vision was brought to fruition, and here we are, reaping the fruits from the tree he sowed.
வணக்கம், காலை வணக்கம். உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் காலை வணக்கம் சொல்வதில் நான் பெருமகிழ்ச்சி அடைகின்றேன். Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to welcome the whole Maryland officials and secretaries and governor and many other VIPs participated, visited and wished us yesterday and today. I'm welcoming Honorable former Lieutenant Governor, Honorable Comptroller of State of Maryland, Honorable former Secretary of Commerce and other officials. I am welcoming everyone in this August gathering. It is a great pride and privilege to introduce this conference to you. This conference started in 2003 for the promote Tamil community economically, socially, educationally, to uplift their day-to-day life. Tamil community is always pride community. Tamils always likes to promote their own language, culture, literature, cinema, and dance, music, and everything. All over the world, Tamil community is doing a lot of activities to promote Tamil language. Apart from that, we want to promote Tamils to do business, to make money, to strengthen their economic status. If you compare to other communities in the world, ethnic community, many other communities, they will do only business. Our community educationally very strong, academically very strong. In America, the IT business, IT professional, many of them is a Tamil community people. Many, just now told one gentleman, Sundar Pichai, is a popular Tamil man, born and brought up in our capital city of Chennai. Like that, many other VIPs shining in America in a great manner. That is why we want to take up our Tamil community all over the world, shining in different fields. In advocate field, legal field, or medical field, or chartered accountancy, many other professional field, Tamils are doing very well. But business point of view, not very much actively involved. That is why we are motivated to organize this conference to mingle with the Indian community, international community, American community to grow more. We are very happy to welcome everyone in this August gathering. இந்த நல்ல நாளில் உங்கள் அனைவரையும் வரவேற்பதில், ஒன்று சேர்ந்து பாராட்டுவதில் நான் பெருமகிழ்ச்சி அடைகின்றேன். தமிழர்கள் எப்பொழுதும் புகழுக்காகவும் பெருமைக்காகவும் இயங்குகிறவர்கள், தன்னைத்தானே உயர்த்தி கொள்வதில் மிக சிறந்தவர்கள், பல்வேறு பணிகளை மிக சிறப்பாக செய்யக்கூடியவர்கள், 3000 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு மேலாக வரலாற்றை படைத்தவர்கள், மிக வளர்ந்த சமூகம், நாகரிகத்திலும் பண்பாட்டிலும் மிக வளர்ச்சி அடைந்த ஒரு சமூகம், அதே நேரத்தில் பொருளாதாரத்திலும் வளர வேண்டும் என்பதற்கான முயற்சி தான் இந்த மாநாடு. இந்த மாநாடு உலகத்தின் பல்வேறு நாடுகளில் நடந்தாலும் இன்றைக்கு உலகத்தின் தலைநகராக விளங்கி கொண்டிருக்கின்ற அமெரிக்கா அவனுடைய தலைநகராக இருக்கிற வாஷிங்டன் நடப்பது மிகப்பெரிய பெருமையாகும். இந்த மாநாட்டிற்கு முன்னின்று நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கின்ற எங்களது அன்பு நண்பர் முன்னாள் அமைச்சர் டாக்டர் நடராஜன் அவர்களையும், இந்தியாவில் முன்னாள் அமைச்சராக இருந்து இன்றைக்கு இங்கே குடியேறியுள்ள திரு நெப்போலியன் அவர்களையும், திரு ராஜாராம் சீனிவாசன் அவர்களையும், திரு செல்வா அவர்களையும் இந்த நேரத்தில் பெரிதும் பாராட்டுகிறோம். நன்றி கடனோடு நாங்கள் இங்கே நிற்கின்றோம். இந்த மாநாடு மிகப்பெரிய வெற்றி அடையும். நேற்றும் இன்றும் திரளாக நீங்கள் கூடியிருக்கிறீர்கள். ஒவ்வொருவரும் பல தொழிலதிபர்களுக்கு, பல ப்ரொஃபஷனலுக்கு சமமானவர்கள் இங்கே வந்திருக்கிறீர்கள். யாரை பார்த்தாலும் பெரிய கம்பெனி வைத்திருப்பவர்கள், பல கல்வி நிறுவனங்களை வைத்திருப்பவர்கள், பல நிறுவனங்களுக்கு சொந்தக்காரர்களாக இருக்கிறீர்கள். இன்றைக்கு எடுத்துக்கொண்டால் அங்கே உட்கார்ந்திருக்கிறார் பீட்டர், 15 கல்வி நிறுவனங்களை வைத்து நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கிறார். அப்படி நான் பலரையும் சொல்ல முடியும். அதே போல மிஸ்டர் சரவணன் இங்கே வந்திருக்கிறார். அவர் 4-5 கல்லூரி நிறுவனங்களை வைத்து நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கிறார். இங்கே நிர்மல்குமார் இருக்கிறார், மிகப்பெரிய தொழிலதிபர், சென்னையிலிருந்து வந்திருக்கிறார். இப்படி நாம் சொல்லிக்கொண்டே போகலாம். அதே போல ஜுனைத் என்பவர் உலகம் முழுவதும் ஹோட்டல்களை நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கிறார், பல்வேறு கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் கம்பெனிகளை நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கிறார். எங்களுடைய மாநாட்டுக்கு தொடர்ந்து பாடுபட்டு வருகிறார். இப்படி அமெரிக்க தமிழர்களும் உலக தமிழர்களும் ஒன்று சேர்ந்து தேர்ந்தெடுக்கிற மாநாடாக இந்த மாநாடு அமைந்திருக்கிறது. இது யாருடைய தனிப்பட்ட விருப்பமோ வெறுப்போ கிடையாது. முழுக்க முழுக்க அனைவரும் ஒன்று சேர்ந்து நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். 2 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு முன்பாக இதே வெற்றிகரமான மாநாட்டினை திரு ஜுனைத் அவர்கள் நடத்தி கொடுத்தார்கள். 2017 டர்பன் மாநகரத்தில் லோகி நாயுடு அவர்கள் நடத்தி கொடுத்தார்கள். டர்பன் உங்களுக்கு தெரியும், 10 லட்சம் இந்தியர்கள், 1 million Tamils are living in Durban city without knowing the Tamil language. Still they are maintaining Tamil culture, Tamil lifestyle, Tamil food and everything they are maintaining still. Every woman wearing a saree but unable to speak Tamil. That is the way in which Durban Tamils are living. We are supporting all over the world. Tamil community should get a OCI card. OCI card, nobody's have Tamil community. First generation have, second generation, third generation, unable to get a OCI card. OCI card means overseas Indian citizen. That is a card given by government of India to get a visit anytime India to without visa. That card should get to every Tamils all over the world. Like that, many important projects we are taking. YMCA, all over the world, YMCA என்றால் Young Men Indian Association, running an large boarding and lodging centers. Similarly, we want to bring an international Tamil center to 100 cities within 10 years period. First project should be launched by Rajan and Napoleon in New York or in Washington this year. I am requesting you in this second day program, very important project they must take. Similarly, World Tamil Economic Foundation, similarly, they must create an America Tamils Foundation, economic foundation should be created here to work for them for every year to conduct similar conference in 50 states every year, one state like that. Then only American Tamils will develop more on economically, because the American Tamils can lead the world for the economic promotion. I am very happy to welcome everyone, especially Maryland state officials and the ministers and secretaries wishing us in the great movement. Thank you, one and all.
So once again, ladies and gentlemen, for the creator of this conference for the 12th year successfully, who has put together Dr. Sampath, thank you very much. Appreciate it very much for your kind words as well. So we'll now introduce the VVIPs who are going to be sharing their thoughts and how we can work collectively as entrepreneurs, as Tamilians, in terms of creating the innovation among us. So introduce the next speaker. We would like to welcome Mr. Rajaram on stage, please.
Thank you. Vanakkam. Good morning. It's my pleasure and honor to introduce our first special guest from the state of Maryland. Our Honorable Comptroller of Maryland, Brooke Learman. I know her since 2017 when I was the president of Tamil Association of Washington, D.C. And thanks, Dr. Rajan for introducing to our Honorable Comptroller. The reason why I'm saying that, when we were trying to recognize Pongal Day, Tamil's important in United States, she was the first delegate who brought the bill to this House, and thank you very much, Honorable Brooke Learman. And a few words about our guest here. Honorable Brooke Learman has made history by breaking barriers and setting new milestones for Maryland. She is the 34th Comptroller of State of Maryland, the first woman ever independently elected to one of Maryland's constitutional offices. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause. And an attorney and former delegate representing Baltimore City, she spent 8 years advancing landmark legislation in transit, education, broadband, and civil rights. Today, as Comptroller, her mission is to build a more equitable, resilient, and prosperous Maryland. Her story is one of perseverance, courage, and advocacy, inspiring woman, and a leader who is leading with vision and purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Honorable Brooke Learman on the stage, please. And also, to honor our honorable guests, I would like to invite the organizing committee, Dr. Honorable Napoleon Doraisamy, and also Dr. Rajan and Dr. V.R. Sampath. Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning. While everybody is coming up, I do want to offer, since everybody's already up here, I was going to do this at the end, but I'll do it now. I'm so delighted to be here on behalf of the state of Maryland, the Comptroller of Maryland, to offer a certificate of recognition to the World Tamils Economic Conference. So congratulations and thanks for all you do. Well, good morning again. It is such a pleasure to be here at the World Tamils Economic Conference with so many incredible Tamil leaders, incredible Marylanders, wonderful Americans. Welcome. It's great to be here with all of you. Thank you for that kind introduction. Again, for those who don't know me, I am Brooke Learman. I am the Comptroller of the state of Maryland, and very proud to be the first woman to serve in this role. I'm also the mother of 2 young children. I'm a civil rights and disability rights attorney by training, and I grew up here in Montgomery County, where we all are. My journey to public service did not begin in a boardroom or a ballroom like this. It actually began at a bus stop. One morning when I was a lawyer, my first day of work as a lawyer, I went to take the bus to work in my neighborhood in Baltimore City, and the bus did not show up. For me, it was a stark example of government failing its residents. That frustration led me to run for office, where I served 8 years as a state delegate in the General Assembly and ultimately became the Comptroller of Maryland. And when I became the Comptroller just a few years ago, I set a clear vision for my agency to work in partnership to create a state that is more equitable, more resilient, and more prosperous so that every Marylander can reach their full potential. So, thank you. So, I'm sure many of you are wondering, what is a comptroller? Well, I serve like the elected chief financial officer of Maryland. I see every dollar in and every dollar out. I lead economic research teams, guide strategic state investments, serve as the tax administrator, and sit on many important boards in the state of Maryland, including the Board of Public Works that helps oversee procurement and contracting, and our state's pension board overseeing $75 billion of investments. In essence, my job is to help policymakers build a more affordable Maryland, one where all residents and businesses can access prosperity. And over the past 28 months on the job, I have focused my work in 3 core areas. First, modernizing government to work for everyone. This is something I know many of you care deeply about, ensuring access to government, ensuring our systems work better. In the Office of the Comptroller, we've launched more than 70 IT projects to streamline tax navigation and enhance customer support. Second, ensuring our resources create opportunities for Maryland families, communities, and our businesses. Our public engagement team is embedded in communities across the state, meeting people where they are and helping businesses access our resources. We have created the office of the very first small business director as well, and I'm delighted to have Janal Contractor on my team joining us today. And third, we are focused on positioning Marylanders and Maryland businesses for long-term success through strategic investments and sound fiscal policy. We know in Maryland that when our families and businesses do better, Maryland does better. And to achieve that sustained growth, we must be clear-eyed about the challenges and the opportunities that we have. So first, what are those challenges? Well, we're here to talk about the economy at this economic conference, so I want to talk a little bit about what we're seeing in Maryland's economy. And we do see headwinds. Federal actions are undermining partnerships that have long benefited our state. Before the Trump administration, the federal government invested $150 billion annually in Maryland through federal workers' wages, retirement, contracts. Many of you have contracts with our federal government, direct payments, and grants. Today, that investment is shrinking. Since January, Maryland has lost 15,100 federal jobs, the most in the nation. Critical funding for healthcare, senior services, and community programs is being slashed. And now, there's a federal government shutdown that threatens services that millions of Americans, including so many Marylanders, rely on. This federal retreat is adding to an affordability challenge in our state. We're short almost 100,000 housing units, and that's driving up costs for families. In fact, when we did business roundtables a couple years ago, the #1 issue that business leaders brought to us was housing challenges, that they try to recruit people to come live in Maryland and are having challenges. Just last week, my agency's Bureau of Revenue estimates projected state revenue, and we project more than a 3.5% increase over FY25 in this next year. Given federal tax and policy changes, this modest growth really reflects a fiscally prudent approach. So, those are some of our challenges, but we also have so many opportunities and so many great things going on in the state of Maryland. You are going to hear from Kelly Schultz, who is championing our tech companies here in the state. From cybersecurity to biotech, Maryland leads the nation with our educational institutions and our IT services and our IT research and services. We also know that we are situationally located within a phenomenal port and up and down the East Coast, so we are a transportation logistics hub for the United States. Our school systems, our parks, our recreational activities all offer residents unparalleled attractions. I also know that we are incredibly proud of our diversity and the power of immigration in driving prosperity. Recent research by my agency shows that immigrants make up 17% of our state population and 21% of our labor force, a significantly higher participation rate than US-born Marylanders, and a higher percent of immigrants in Maryland than the nation as a whole. We know and appreciate in Maryland the importance of our immigrant neighbors and friends, and we are proud that you have chosen Maryland to come to, build families in, and businesses in. Thank you. Simply put, our economic prospects are strong, and immigration improves them. We know so many of you are entrepreneurs, and starting a business means going out on a limb. It is the job of state leaders, including me and my agency, to ensure that that limb is strong and growing. So let me tell you some of the work that we're doing. First, from my seat on the Board of Public Works, I help ensure the state's investments serve all residents and businesses. In the first half of 2025, our board invested more than $6.25 billion into projects that strengthen our economy, with over $500 million going to minority business enterprises and more than $770 million to small businesses here in Maryland. So I encourage, if you are not registered and you are doing business here in Maryland, I encourage you to register as a minority business enterprise or a small business reserve at procurement.maryland.gov. Now, I know this tax year, there's also been significant attention on Maryland's expanded sales and use tax, which now includes a 3% tax on digital and IT services and software publishing. Now, my agency doesn't set policy, but we do implement, and we try to make sure that the policies that are passed are easily implemented by your businesses so that you have clarity and understanding when you do your work. That's why 2 days after session, we launched a brand new webpage at marylandcomptroller.gov 2020/2025 tax updates to ensure that you had all the information you need about what this tax means and how to successfully implement it for your business. Our teams remain available across the state to support you, take your calls, and set up meetings. That's what Janal is here for, and that's what we look forward to doing. So before I close, I want to just say thank you. By leading and building here in Maryland, you are strengthening our state. I am proud to be an elected official in Maryland, where we value those who are born elsewhere and chose to come here, where we support one another in doing the good work in our communities and through our businesses. By engaging with one another around opportunities for growth, you demonstrate the commitment it takes to stay resilient and thrive in the face of uncertainty. I say often that I believe we all do better when we all do better. Your leadership and commitment is helping make better possible. As you push forward, please know that I, as comptroller, am eager to be a good partner to you. Stay in touch with us, to learn more about our work. Ramba Nandri, and onwards. Thank you.
Thank you so much once again to the Honorable Comptroller of the State of Maryland for that truly inspiring and forward-looking address. Ladies and gentlemen, please once again, let's have a huge round of applause for the Honorable Comptroller of the State of Maryland. To keep the spirit of inspiration going, I'd like to next call upon Dr. Rajan Srinivasan sir onto the stage, who will welcome and honor the next VVIP here for us.
Good to be back again. For a great reason, this time I'm going to introduce a very, very special friend, special leader for us. And his entire life has been really dedicated for public service. I really admire his public service, integrity, and his social impact. That is called Honorable Boyd Rutherford, our former Lieutenant Governor for 8 years in Maryland. Well, not only he was just kind of, Lieutenant Governor, he also served in the federal administration as the Administrator of Agriculture and also General Services under President Bush administration, I guess. Let's give a big round of applause. This is amazing, amazing job. I know him probably for the last 15 years. He also served as Secretary of General Services in Maryland. He changed the entire procurement policy, improvement, the landscape. Still that's functioning. Lieutenant Governor, amazing, amazing. You centralized, you streamlined the procurement process. And that is a historic landmark for a lot of Maryland small and minority businesses that he helped us to grow. Of course, an accomplished attorney and a public servant, he has built his reputation on helping minority, women, and veteran-owned business navigating complex systems. His journey reflects a steadfast commitment to improving lives and ensuring government services to the public with efficiency and fairness. That is the bottom line of procurement, efficiency and fairness. His leadership continues to inspire future generation to hold public service with the courage and the compassion and integrity. Now let's put together our hands and welcome our Lieutenant Governor, former Lieutenant Governor, Honorable Boyd Rutherford. Thank you. Please come.
Thank you, and it is very much an honor to be able to speak to you today. Thank you, Rajan. I think you said we've known each other for over 15 years. I think it's really closer to 20 years, maybe longer than that, when you were back at working with Gantac. Remember that a while back. So I appreciate, again, being able to speak to you this morning. There was a little mention of my bio, working both in the federal and state government of Maryland. A lot of my experience is around procurement, the purchasing of products, goods, and services from businesses, with a particular focus in small business development. And I know there's a lot of times people think mostly of the federal government, and particularly if you're coming in from other countries, in my experience in government and with businesses, is that there's a lot of focus on what happens in Washington. But the federal government is not the only game in town. As Comptroller Lehrman mentioned, you know, the state of Maryland and other states are very much interested in doing business with international companies, as well as supporting their homegrown companies to do business overseas and internationally. You know, while the federal government, you know, there's a lot of noise about what's going on in Washington, and while they do set the international diplomatic policy and collect import duties and issue visas, you know, there's extensive business that is done in the 50 states, which are essentially semi-autonomous entities that are, like I said, looking to do business with or attract business into their state. You know, and, you know, in the case of Maryland and a program that was started when Secretary Schultz was Commerce Secretary during the prior administration, our administration, we launched a Global Gateway Soft Landing program for those who are interested in expanding into the U.S. market, to provide funding and support in an inexpensive way of establishing, I guess, a foothold in the marketplace. And so there's costs that are offset by the state for the first 6 months of landing. And one of our business incubators around the country, or around the state, I should say. And it's not just Maryland that does this. Most states are aggressive. My friends in many other states are aggressive in seeking business. And then opportunities for companies that are based, in our case in Maryland, to do business overseas. So many of you who are doing business here now, I encourage you to reach out to the Maryland Department of Commerce. They can provide assistance in various opportunities to go to conferences overseas where you can, you know, develop relationships or further relationships with many of your, many companies that are doing similar business in their countries. And for those who are here from the government of Tamil Nadu, I'd encourage you to look into, and the businesses too, to look into the sister state relationships, because those relationships allow for government-to-government communications, as well as educational exchanges, and as well as being able to explore those business opportunities that I was just talking about. Maryland, unfortunately, does not have a current sister state relationship with any of the regions or states in India. So this would be a good opportunity to explore that possibility. As well as, you know, being in the sister state relationship, you get a priority with your businesses get a priority with regard to the Global Gateway Soft Landing Program. On a more personal note, you know, or I should say while being in office, but also what I found after leaving office is the impact. I saw it originally early on, but also continue to see the impact of Indian American companies on the Maryland as well as on the state economy. You know, many of the businesses, as was mentioned, are doing work both at the federal level and at the state level, a lot in the technology areas and life science areas. And so now, as a partner in a regional law firm, we've seen the opportunities that these businesses have had and have helped them as they navigate through the process. You know, In one particular instance, it was able to work with an international business looking to do business here and able to connect them with an American-based company that allowed them to partner to get their foothold here in the United States market. We've been able to advise businesses on how to go about doing business in the United States, both on the state and local level. We've represented entrepreneurs, Indian American entrepreneurs, who have business interests in both the United States and in India, and helping them navigate those complicated tax issues, which many of you are probably familiar with, both working in here as well as the challenges of the tax systems in India. So, you know, as I mentioned, with my background in federal and state government, I encourage those of you who are looking to do business with governments to not only look at the federal government, but to look at the state governments as well. And, you know, I'm not going to take up too much of your time this morning, but as I mentioned, there's more to opportunities here. As the comptroller just mentioned, Maryland has been and still is open for business. Many of you do a lot of business in the state, and we encourage that. There's many opportunities to partner with other businesses and work with our state partners in terms of helping you to do business and flourish in the state. I will be around if there's anyone has any questions with regard to some of the things I was just talking about. Again, I want to thank everyone, and particularly the co-chairs, for inviting me and giving me this wonderful opportunity to be here and address you today. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. For the next VVIP, I would like to call upon to the stage Mr. Ramesh, who would be introducing our next distinguished person onto the stage.
Good morning, everyone. Our next leader has been a driving force in Maryland's innovation economy. Honorable Kelly Schultz is the President and CEO of the Maryland Tech Council, the state's leading association for technology and life sciences. She previously served Maryland as the Secretary of Commerce and the Secretary of Labor, where she spearheaded apprenticeship programs, strengthened workforce development, and supported small business growth. Through her leadership, Maryland's economic climate was strengthened even during the challenges of COVID-19 era. Her career reflects determination, innovation, and a passion of empowering entrepreneurs and underrepresented workers and voices in business and technology. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Honorable Kelly Schultz. I want to invite Honorable Organizing Committee members to come to the stage one more time to give warm welcome to Kelly Schultz. Thank you.
This is our culture, this is our tradition. We have to do something.
So that is so lovely
Good morning. It's still morning. My mother is now living with me. She's been with me for about the past year, so she and I are going to be fighting over this beautiful piece of silk. So I very greatly appreciate that. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for the invitation. Rajan and I have been friends for many years in this world to be able to explore how to be able to create economic wealth and vitality, not only in Maryland for the businesses, but for Marylanders all over that really need to be able to have that economy lifted up so that they can advance and prosper. Governor, so great to see you. It's always great to be here with former Lieutenant Governor Boyd Rutherford, who also sits on my board at the Maryland Tech Council. So he's going to be watching everything I say to make sure that we represent tech in general in the Maryland the way we need to be able to go about it. So there has been a long history of this relationship in Maryland and India, and that is how Raj and we had gotten together and talked about entrepreneurship, democracy, innovation for the good. Those are traits that we share, and those are traits that we want to be able to continue and to move forward with. Let me just tell you briefly about the Maryland Tech Council. At the Maryland Tech Council, we have almost 900 members, and our corporate members are everything from the biotech, life science organizations to the AI, digital, Google, AWS, data centers. It's all of us combined in order to create this ecosystem throughout the state of Maryland that's about growth, it's about energy, and it's about progress. And Maryland, just in case you didn't know, is the third largest biotech ecosystem in the United States. The third largest biotech ecosystem, just behind, well, maybe a little bit further behind, Boston and Silicon Valley and San Diego out in California, right? But we have what it takes here in the United States, in Maryland, as the epicenter for growth in cell and gene therapies and for everything related to AI, quantum, and beyond. My job as the CEO of the Maryland Tech Council is to be able to make sure that not only we in Maryland understand the resources and the assets that we have, but everyone in this room from wherever you came from across the globe to understand that we are a place for you to grow and to be able to experience what we have experienced as far as the economy and the path moving forward. Our home state of Maryland, we have within our region between Baltimore and DC about 115,000 Indian descendants living here. And that's significant. That's significant for our workforce development, it's significant for our education, it's significant for our entrepreneurs because of those three traits that we all share: democracy, entrepreneurship, and innovation for good. Our job is to be able to work together in order to be able to come up with that next big entrepreneurship, that next big exit, that next big investment, not just so that we can say that we had all of these successes here, but what do the successes actually mean? What does it equate to in the end? It equates to great jobs for people within our community. It means that if there is success in a business and a company, when we talk about innovation for good, that there has been a change in our human life to be able to develop something that is going to impact each and every one of us for the future. Now, at the Maryland Tech Council, it's kind of interesting because we are the only tech association in the country that houses both the life science and biotech businesses as well as other digital technologies, let's just say AI, cybersecurity. And now, the greatness of that is that we're seeing them combine. We're utilizing AI in biotech in order to be able to do research, development, get therapeutics and discoveries faster by multitudes of the amount of time. That means that we can bring real change to human lives faster, and our members are making that happen every single day. It's really, really proud for me to be able to represent all of the entrepreneurs that are changing human lives every single day. Now, just to switch up gears, I live in a town just north of here where we're sitting, just north of Washington, D.C., called Frederick, Maryland. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but I became aware a couple of months ago that there's a cricket team that wants to build a cricket stadium in Frederick, Maryland. And so they came to me and knocked on my door and they said, Kelly, you live in Frederick, how are we going to promote that in our community? Right, Rajan? So I said, well, let's have some meetings and let's talk about it. It just so happens that we met with the owner of the Washington cricket team, and we're gonna make that happen. Because, yes, we are gonna make it happen. We're introducing people, we're introducing the community. There's a community get-to-know-you event up in Frederick next weekend. If anybody wants to know about it, I'm sure it's on their website. But I'm a proud supporter of that, bringing culture to my hometown, to my community, to my grandchildren who are now living within my community so that we can all share that cultural advantage together. And for God's sakes, that is an entrepreneur opportunity for everybody to be taken care of. And I've learned a little bit about cricket along the way. So thank you for those that have given me a little bit of inspiration to promote such a wonderful project. Again, I'm so excited to be here. If you are an entrepreneur, if you know an entrepreneur, if you want to be an entrepreneur, please talk to us about what we can do to provide help, resources, and encouragement so that you can be successful right here in a state that we all hold very dear to our hearts. So thank you very much for the invitation.
On behalf of the organizing committee and the audience, once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's please put our hands together and thank the lovely, distinguished dignitaries we just had on stage. So before we kick off the panels, I'd like to invite Mr. Ramesh Ramaraj and to share a few lines about him. I have this humbled opportunity to introduce him as the program coordinator for this conference, who's made this amazing event even more eventful. So Ramesh is an accomplished entrepreneur and a business leader with a strong record for driving innovation and growth. He is the current founder and CEO for Red Pulley Technology Solutions, which partners with the US federal agencies to deliver cutting-edge solutions. So I would like to now all of you to put your hands together and welcome Ramesh Ramaraj to the stage, please.
Good morning again. I think we are running behind by a few minutes, so I will keep my speech short. So welcome one more time to this conference. Some of you beat Maryland traffic in the morning, some of you beat the coffee lines, some of you guys fought the elevated traffic, but you already won the biggest battle of this conference. Getting out of the bed, looking sharp, and arriving before the first panel starts is a big achievement, right? Now we are all wide awake and ready. Let me take you behind the scenes of what happened and how we came up with this agenda. When we started planning this agenda for this conference months ago, the hardest part was not booking this hotel or not setting the coffee stations. The hardest part was this: how do you take all the big issues Tamils around the world care about: entrepreneurship, leadership, empowerment, innovation, education, economy, and somehow squeeze them into 3 days of sessions. Most of us here come from software backgrounds, so we did what we knew the best. We treated the agenda like an agile software release. Our MVP this time is not a product, it's the project agenda, which is a simple Word document. Right? But you know what? We struggled like anything. At one point, we actually said, responding to a federal proposal is easier than creating this agenda, right? Every late night, we kept running iterations, and we kept arguing. Do we have 3 panels fighting for the same time slot? How can we come up with an impactful title for the panels? And then came the ultimate question: who is the most important part of this conference? It is you sitting there, right? Once we found out the answer, just like Apple keeps rolling out iPhone releases every year, We rolled out 15 different iterations of agenda. Can you believe it? The difference is Apple charges you $1,000 for the update. Our agenda updates comes free of charge with your registration, unlimited with extra updates, no charge. So it was like putting together a giant puzzle, piece by piece. The agenda started taking shape. And today, day 2, you're going to see some of the most exciting pieces of the puzzle come alive. Because we got a lineup that's going to wake you up even faster than your double espresso shot in the morning. But I want to pause and recognize something important. This conference isn't just about panels and topics. It's about the people who make it happen. So our panelists, who came from different parts of the region, devoted their time and energy, poured their heart and soul into preparing for these panel sessions. They are not just going to show up to sit on the stage. They are here to share their stories, insights, lessons that will stay with us for a long time. So I want you guys to give a big round of applause for all the panelists who is going to make this panels happen a great success. So as Rajan sir was mentioning, the teaser is over. The main picture is about to start. So we're going to begin with panel 1. Panel 1 is going to start with women's leadership and empowerment in developing nations. They say when you empower a woman, you empower an entire community, right? So this isn't just a panel. It's a master class in courage and transformation. It is about breaking barriers, rewriting the narratives, and reimagining what is possible when women lead. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to panel 1, Women's Leadership and Empowerment in Developing Nations. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'd love all of you to give a huge round of applause to Mr. Ramesh Ramaraj, without whom this program wouldn't have come to life. Okay, so as he mentioned, we're kicking off the panels, and panel 1, just to give a few lines of introduction about what we're going to be expecting. So this is about women's leadership and empowerment in developing nations. So in places where resources are limited, opportunity is very unequal, and social norms are still coming across as barriers, it is very transformational and inspirational where and how the role of women play in the society. And these are the change makers who turn adversity into advantage. So on that note, to lead us through this rich discussion, I would like to first introduce our moderator, who is then going to be inviting the panelists for the first session. So she is none other than Soundarya Balasubramani, who is the founder and CEO of Unshackled USA. I just would like to say that she's a combination of equal parts writer, entrepreneur, and storyteller. She has published 2 books, Admitted and Unshackled, and she has just finished her 3rd novel. So can we please have a huge round of applause to Soundarya? Just a quick housekeeping announcement. The timer is going to be visible in the TV screen here, so we're going to be monitoring it closely, and we will make sure that we give you a heads up before the panel time is up. Thank you once again, and again, I would like to introduce Ms. Soundarya onto the stage to invite the panelists.
Kale Vanakkam, I guess, not Male Vanakkam. Good morning, everyone. How is everyone's energy level? Give me a thumbs up in the middle or thumbs down. What's your energy level like? People in the back are saying this, and people in the front are saying this. Great. Hopefully by the end of this, all of you will give me a thumbs up. For this panel, this is a very interesting one because it says women's leadership and development, but obviously, it's not just about women. And I'm looking at this room and I'm seeing primarily there's a lot of men in this room. And I'd love to ask all the men in the room, how many of you have a daughter? How many of you have a daughter in your life? About 30% of the room, how many of you have a woman who is your mentor? Someone who has inspired you in your life, someone who's a teacher? A few people here and there. How many of you have a wife? Many of you. Some of your wives are co-founders as well, I'm sure. So it's not just about the women in this room, which is quite scarce, as I can see. It's about what all the men in the room can take away from the panel to help the women in your lives when you go back home. So on that note, I would love to introduce our panelists and bring them on stage, starting with Sheila Murthy. Sheila Murthy is the president and CEO of Murthy Law Firm, one of the largest law firms that I know of in the country or in the world. She's also the president and founder of Murthy Nayak Foundation. Welcome, Sheila. You can clap harder than that. I know it. Thank you. Exercise your hands for the next 1 minute. Next, we have Meena Krishnan, who is the president and CEO of Symmetrica, a successful health tech company that did an incredible work during the COVID pandemic. Welcome, welcome, Meena. Please give her a round of applause. Third, on the note of health and policy, we have another expert, Dr. Nandini Selvam. She is the president of IQVIA Government Solutions, a global leader, one of the largest companies in the world on health and policy research. Welcome, doctor. Then we have Tharani Raj. She is the founder and CEO of Ahava Services, a successful IT consulting firm that works with Salesforce as a partner. Welcome, doctor. Welcome, Tharani. And last but not least, we have Andal Bhalu. She is the co-founder of Coco Town. She is our design and manufacturing expert on the stage. Welcome, Andal. Thank you all so much.
Good morning, everyone. And hey, Soundarya, why only the women? Let the men, why only the men benefiting? Let the women, not just the women in their lives, but the men can learn a thing or two.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Wow, we have 6 mics. That is great.
And we're mostly color coordinated too. I thought that was interesting.
Oh, we are, yeah. You know, I've never been on a panel with 6 mics. I was just thinking in my mind, how are we going to do the mic transitioning? But we don't have to do that. Thank you so much to the organizers for making sure of that. Once again, I already set the stage. Panels, I know it's a lot for you all to take in. It's like you're watching a TV channel where you can't switch the channel. You just have to sit there and listen. So we will make this incredibly interactive with all of you, don't worry. And as I said, the goal of the next 45 minutes is just to help you understand what it took for these women to rise to the top in their fields in law, health, policy, entrepreneurship, manufacturing, and specifically what you can do to take away and help the women and men in your lives when you go back. So on that note, Sheila, I'm actually going to start with you since you already kicked us off. I'm going to take a detour here. This is about women's development in, women's empowerment in developing nations. But you are an expert in immigration. I think there are some immigrants in the room that I'm saying. So,
to put it mildly, right?
I'm sure there are many citizens as well. Kudos to all of you who have your citizenship. But you probably have a friend in your life who's still on a visa, who is terrified right now. So how many of you actually are on visas yourself in the room? You're on a temporary visa. Oh, wow, there's like one person raising their hand. Great, but how many of you have children or friends who have temporary visas? Who is scared? Who's a student? Who is a temporary worker? I feel like the last 9 months have been nothing short of unprecedented, I would say. And so I specifically want to ask you, Sheila, you've seen it for the last few decades. There's been student visas that have been revoked. There has been people getting stopped at borders, people being sent back. What kind of economic impact do you think all of these decisions have for just this country as a whole?
Sure. Thank you so very much, Soundarya, for doing the introductions, for being the moderator, and a huge big thank you to each of you for waking up, coming, being here, and being a part of this incredible Tamil forum. All the people keep asking me, are you Tamilian? And my answer is, no, but I studied in Stella Maris College, and my favorite people on earth, I am not lying to you, are Tamilians. And I will tell you, they are amazing, they are hardworking, they are caring, they tell you, if they're mad at you, it's like, hey, Sheila, what's going on, right? You never have to guess with Tamilians. Whereas with some of the others, they may be too polite. But that doesn't answer the economic impact of immigration and what's going on. So yes, of course, the last, in general, America, I mean, I've been practicing close to 40 years, right? You have ups and downs. In general, there's the feeling that, sometimes you feel loved. America is a great nation of immigrants, right? Unless you're Native American, everybody came from somewhere else. Parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. It's a new country. It's only compared to India, which is thousands and thousands of years, right? We have a rich, ancient history. America is a new continent. And so when people talk about immigrants, them versus us, let them go back, brown versus white, I'm like, wait, are you insulting your parents and grandparents by saying immigrants should go away? Because without immigrants, this would be, basically Native Americans. To get back to the issue of what's going on more recently, yes, I think this year, with the new administration, we definitely have more challenges. But like everything, I always feel challenges provide great opportunities, right? I'm an eternal optimist. I always feel you can look at the glass of life as half empty or half full. And if you choose to look at it as half full, it will brim and floweth over and provide abundance. But if we look at it as half empty and getting depleted, we will then feel less energy, less excitement, less passion. So let's each of us, rather than looking at all of the challenges in your life, immigration or otherwise, let's use and think that the most difficult challenges provide us the greatest opportunities to shine and to do things in a different way, in a creative way, and how we can do it. So with respect to immigration, yes, we had student visas revoked less than 2 weeks ago today. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, it was September 19th, end of day, the $100,000 penalty fine for H-1B workers, going to become effective less than 24 hours later, right? Just about 24 hours later, midnight on Sunday morning, 21st of September. Who would have believed this? We don't know for sure if this is a negotiation tactic, a genuine fee. We're not sure because already there was a lawsuit filed yesterday afternoon. I think there are lots more lawsuits that are going to be filed because under the US Constitution, only Congress has the power of taxation in this country. The executive branch, most of you know this, we have the balance of powers, the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judiciary, right? Yet, we are now seeing an unprecedented, a little bit of grabbing of power happening by the executive branch to the detriment of the other two branches of government, and whether this country and this constitution will survive will depend on each one of you. Don't sit there and say, why is this happening to me? The greatness of America is each of you have a right, have a voice, even if you don't yet have a vote because you're a permanent resident. You have more power than you know you have. Take advantage of it. There's a famous saying that most of us give up our power because we don't acknowledge it. We don't know how powerful we are. So each of you is extremely powerful. Each of us is extremely powerful. Whatever challenges come, mostly right now it's immigration, and I'm sure each of you will say in the economy, use this as an opportunity to speak your voice, to vote with your dollars. Each of you, Indians are the richest minority community in the United States. We are 5 times richer than the average American, right? Which is both an incredible testament and an honor, but also makes it difficult because then there's envy and unhappiness. How come these people are coming and making more money? It's not fair. And so we have to be sensitive to that issue. And so what can each one of you do? And with immigration, please join in filing the lawsuits. It's a great The greatest nation on earth, America is a great country because we can sue the government, you can challenge somebody breaking the law and not be worried about hopefully not be worried about the consequences. And if millions of us do it, they cannot throw all of us into prison. And if they do, we'll become more powerful. Many times my husband would say, Sheila, you're going to be killed for talking your mind, right? And I'll say, great, I'll live even more. I'll become even more famous. And he would be like, but I'll be lonely. I'm like, you'll get over it, right? Who cares? At the end of the day, you have to speak your mind. You have to believe in yourself. And by the way, my father was an engineer. Both my sisters are medical doctors. And I was told I'll be poor, hungry, and nothing as a lawyer in India. But I come to this great country, America. I believe in myself. I believe that passion, compassion, fighting for justice makes a difference. And I think each one of us is here because we believe in supporting each other, in the Tamil culture, in this economic forum. And let's give a big round of applause to you and to our panelists here. Thank you.
I have to say, you have the energy of 5 people in one person. It's insane. And there's something you said about, it's very important to vote and to show our voices. And the sad thing is the people that this is happening to are the people who cannot vote. People like myself who are just here on temporary visas. And so I really hope the people in this room who are citizens, who don't have to constantly worry about getting kicked out, actually do something for your friends who are very, very scared in this administration. But staying on the track of women's empowerment, and I'll come back to you, Sheila, in the next question, because I have something to ask you. But I'm going to quickly move on to Dr. Nandini and Meena. You both lived through the pandemic. I just want to ask, first of all, how would you describe that in one word? Just give me one word.
Life-changing. Yeah. So let me introduce myself.
Please go ahead.
Meena Krishnan. செந்தமிழ் நாடெனும் போதினிலே இன்பத்தேன் வந்து பாயுது காதினிலே. நம்ம தமிழ் மக்களை எல்லாரும் ஒன்றா சேர்ந்து பார்க்கறச்சு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு. Very, very thankful to be here. And, we have come all the way to the US, established ourselves in various forums. So very proud of each and every one of you for having come this far, sitting here in this room together. So honored to be here on the stage, speaking to you in Tamil and English. Let's not forget about our root language, Tamil. We are here for that reason. So I wanted to start with the Tamil Bharadiyar poem. My background is my great-grandfather is Paridimar Kalaignar, who is also known as Suri Narayana Sastriyar. Thank you very much. And there is a postage stamp on him in India because he lived only up to 33 years and he published so many books and he was a linguist of his times and he proved that Tamil is Chemmuri long back. So I really owe it to him for my interest in Tamil and for my success actually. And I'm so happy and proud to be here. And going back to the pandemic, I run a public health and technology firm, and through which we have worked with many of the federal government agencies to help them in various forms, and CDC was one of the agencies, and we were right smack working with them through the pandemic, and we helped collect data during COVID-19, and everything was topsy-turvy, and people started blaming each other, but at that time, we helped everybody to come together by collecting the data and providing input in terms of who are the affected populations, because sila populations வந்து ரொம்ப worse affect ஆனாங்க. சில பேர் வந்து they had the medical privilege, அதனால அவங்களால they were able to get the medical help. So our company was in the middle of it trying to analyze the data and providing solutions to CDC. And we also do other solutions such as nuclear emergency preparedness in the event of a nuclear detonation, which nobody wants to think about. How should the nation prepare? How should the state and local government prepare? So we worked with CDC during pandemic because that never stops. And for that, I'm very proud that what we have accomplished all these years, and we continue to do that. The journey continues on. So I would be very happy to answer more specific info about anything we did during pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you. I can't even tell you how, I just feel so proud sitting on this panel, first of all, and hearing what you just said. But specifically, I'm curious, since we're on the topic of women's empowerment again, have you seen a difference in the way women approach complex problems in your field versus men? Maybe there's no difference, but I just want to ask anyway.
Sure, I think that's a great question. And men and women, in my opinion, in my experience, we all think very similar. But the way we implement it, we can learn from each other. I think we all bring our strengths and weaknesses. Now, when I went to Wharton Business School for Advanced Management Program, and I had the privilege of working with very accomplished men leaders and women leaders. So, appa vandu case studies night alarm will work together. Appa pathingana, I learned a lot from many men leaders who were sitting in the very high level making decisions. One thing I noticed was, nama women when they will do all the homework, but we will kind of hesitate implementing, and confidence konja kammiya irukum. So men are like very confident, they believe in their vision. So I learned a lot from that, to be more confident and to believe in ourselves and go there and implement what we are out to set. So that is my honest feedback. I don't want to say that we are all the same. We learn from each other, and then women bring certain, strengths. So we had to, I'm sure that men are looking at it and then seeing, okay, organization and, a little bit more patience with things. So some of those qualities are there. So I do believe that we are different, but we have to seek men to help us out. We don't want to alienate anybody. I hope that they feel the same way about women leaders. But that is my humble opinion about, getting men's input as leaders in our own way.
Thank you so much. And on that note, I kind of want to ask people in the crowd here, how many of you are still listening? Raise your hand if you're listening. Nice. Thank you so much at the back for listening all the way from there. Have you seen what, Meena just said in terms of, have you seen that women in your companies and organizations are more hesitant to say something? Even if they've done the work, they don't take the credit. Have you noticed that yourself? I'm just curious. Janaki raises her hand, but no one else. So maybe the women in their organizations are actually quite confident. But that's something I can personally attest to and have noticed as well. I'd love to hear from you, Dr. Nandini.
Sure, thank you. So quick intro. So I work for IQVIA, which is a large healthcare services company. So all the things that Meena just talked about, we actually provide in terms of data, clinical trial support, we're large. But then, not just as a woman, I think we always wear multiple hats, and one of my other hats is as CEO of South Asian Herald, so I'm going to give a little plug. So we actually have an online digital platform that supports South Asian Americans, and it's really here to amplify the voice of the South Asian diaspora in America. The plug in this is actually, what's unique about it is it's actually founded by my husband, so he didn't even have to pay me to say this. But he's a veteran journalist who's been covering news across the region for a couple of decades, and this particular platform is actually accredited by the White House, the US Congress, United Nations, and as a Tamil-speaking, Chennai-born person, he's the only one who's accredited for this. So, as we see representation and media in this country, this is truly a path forward in terms of representation. So,
and Dr. Nandini, just so what's the name of the organization one more time?
South Asian Herald. SouthAsianHerald.com, subscribe.
It's not for healthcare, it's for all.
It's across the board. It's the voice of the diaspora, So even if you wanted to put things out there around immigration and you're looking to reach a South Asian audience, this is definitely a way to go about it.
Okay, let's talk.
Yeah, let's talk.
That's fantastic. So anyone in the audience, if they have something that serves the South Asian community, they can talk to you about this.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
And so, you asked a question around what's my word for the pandemic, right? I think it's resilience. What we saw so I think what we saw during the pandemic was really the inner workings of what happens in medical and healthcare. So by trade, I'm an epidemiologist, right? So I'm a public health specialist who suddenly found myself in the midst of this discussion when everybody was homegrown epidemiologists. I think after 20 years, I think even my grandmother knew what I did finally. And so what it really taught us is that medicine isn't an exact science. It's a little bit of science, it's intuition, And it's a little bit of magic too, right? It's hocus pocus. So there was this notion of how do you build a plane while you fly it? And I think people like me, really our jobs were to interpret what was happening with the data, what we were seeing in real, very real time. And that's often not been something that we've done. And then instilling confidence in everything from should you mask, not mask, and the communications changed, and I'm former CDC, so this was something that I think we struggled as a nation, but in looking around, I think the value prop, not just as a public health specialist, I think the second question is how did women deal with it differently? And I think when women deal with something, there's more around a discussion around equity, around community building and other things. But honestly, I have to say, I sit on a number of global panels for women. If we did our job correctly and there was equity, we don't have men's leadership meetings, right? So if we did it right, we're more than half the population. We're representatives in every forum. This should be just a leadership panel, if you think about it. So irrespective of gender, but yes, we do think differently, we act differently, we implement differently, but there is strength because of it.
And I'm curious, as a follow-up to that, we implement differently. Is there something specifically different that you've noticed in just your own way of working?
I think the touch is different. I have 8 men who report to me who all think they know better than me all the time, right? So, and most of them are ex-military and all of them are older than me. So, so this is always an interesting dynamic. I think there's a way to do it. Influencing is, I think, my magic pill, right? I know what I want. I get into the conversation and I walk them to the line and suddenly they're all brilliant. So it's all about how you handle things. And I think leadership is about understanding who has what strength and how you bring the best out in them. It's not about my taking credit. I get credit anyway because it's my organization. It's how you motivate, provide the appropriate platform to then make things happen. So I think there's just a different discussion. So I make it a point to show on my calendar that I'm showing up for my kids' soccer games or I have things after to do. And in that, both the men and women who report to me feel empowered to say, you know what, I have a kid's activity after school. There's no trying to sneak around, trying to put yourself out of office. And I think those are some of the things I think I've seen just women do better than men because we're often also then responsible for project managing and doing other things around the household in addition to the sort of the external views and faces that we have.
Very inspiring. And are you saying your calendar is public so that anyone can see what's happening?
Oh, I wish I could say that. My admin does have access, but I'm very vocal about where I'm going. So if I have to log off 10 minutes early, I don't say I have another meeting. I tell you where I'm going. And sometimes it's to say, I really need some food because you don't want to deal with me otherwise.
You get hangry, yes.
That's an understatement. Ask my husband. He's learned the hard way.
Where's your husband? Oh, wonderful. Welcome. So we've heard from law, health, policy, and now we're moving on to someone who is in tech specifically. And the funny thing is, I used to work at Salesforce, but I was reading through your website and I realized I didn't understand a lot of what you do. And it just goes to show that you are extremely smart, and I'd love to know. You built Ahava from ground up yourself, right, Tharani? Was there a co-founder, or was it just you who started it? Just you. So, I have to ask, what was the first challenge you remember when you started out?
Well, I start off by thanking the community here. ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன் இந்த உலக தமிழ் மாநாட்டுக்கு எனக்கு அழைப்பு கொடுத்த ஒருவருக்கும் நன்றி. It's such a beautiful place to be here. ஸோ நான் வீட்டில் எங்கள் அப்பா கிட்ட சொன்னேன், எங்கள் அம்மா கிட்ட சொன்னேன், கொஞ்சம் பிக்சர்ஸ் அனுப்பினேன், ரொம்ப சந்தோஷப்பட்டாங்க. அதனால் ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சியாக இருக்கு இங்கே இருக்கிறது. அண்ட் வாட் அ ஜாய் இட் இஸ் டு பி அமாங் தீஸ் வைப்ரண்ட் விமன் ஆன் ஸ்டேஜ். ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி கொடுத்த உங்களுக்காக நன்றி. So let me start off with something. So just a little bit about me, my background. Been in the US for over 2 decades now. Came here to do our master's. Had a very successful career here. was in a very affluent job, was at least for 15 years, I was in the professional career here. I was in a path to go to the C-level executive, and people already know I was in that track, and there were senior management positions that I've held. And I sure thought I was going to go and serve as a C-level executive in another company. And life just didn't go that way. There was a passion deep inside of me. My husband and I were already serving a few things locally at the community. And my desire to just do more just grew. And I just didn't want to go and settle down for a normal C-level position in any company. So that was the why we did what we did. And I moved on. It was a lot of hard work and tenacity. I mean, all of you in the room have done that, and you know that. And that was just the why behind it. So since the why was so strong for me to reach out and mentor, I was doing mentoring women, mentoring few other people, inmates. So we were doing few things, and we just wanted to do more. Since the why was so strong, it just fell in place. So the way you asked me what was the strongest hurdle. So the clients was easy for me. I did a consulting business first for the first few years. So I did have a lot of clients. People were really happy with what I delivered. They really appreciated me as a person. So I had a good number of clients that were supporting me, that they already gave me a job to do. What I didn't know at that point was, how am I going to deliver now? Because it's not a consulting anymore, but I had to deliver them larger projects. To do those large...
Just one sec. Excellent. Someone's calling right as we're speaking. Please continue.
So the biggest challenge was, okay, how am I going to deliver? Right? Forming the right team was very important when I had the inception. So it was really good that, that's why it's really nice when you mentor and when you lead people and you have a good team right there. I didn't even realize that. I had someone called Jen in my team. I had mentored her. She was an admin, and I saw all her skills. I told her, hey, you can do this in Salesforce. I trained her in reporting. She grew on to be an admin and a developer, and little did I know that she was going to come and support me. So right there, she was standing by me, and I can go on to say a few other developers who were there as well that I mentored. They came in believing the mission, believing me as a person, what I was into, and I'm really blessed to have them in my life. They still are serving me in my company. And I think that was the biggest challenge, and it just was easy to deliver because I had the right team right there with me. And to go on, how we were successful from those few private clients that we did, it paved way to wonderful women who were ready to come and invest in my life. They saw something in me, and I still have people who call me and speak to me, hey, are you doing this RFP? What do you think about this? So I had wonderful women who mentored me, who took really, in spite of the busyness, they took time to invest in me. And also a lot of minority men. They came and they believed in what I do, and they supported me. They partnered me in some of the RFPs that they did and some of the business that they did, and they saw how I thrived. And that actually paved the way. I would say it's people and the community and what went around me really rallied around the success. It's nothing me that I've established or done it at all. And that moved on to, since we were able to deliver successful projects, we moved on to larger agencies. And one of the latest one that we did was a senior executive. He said, hey, in my 30 years in the industry, I haven't seen a company with such strong technical expertise, along with the empathy, understanding the business and the nuances to deliver what you delivered. So I'm proud to say that prior to us coming on board, there was a top-tier consulting partner of Salesforce. They miserably failed, and we went in and had everything up and running. So I think it's a balance of community, people, and what value you bring to the business, to your client, that stands out for the success as well.
Fantastic. I mean, not a lot of people in my life I've heard say, I had a C-level position, but I just didn't feel like taking it. So kudos to you. How big is your company right now?
Yeah, we are growing. We've been doubling, but yeah, we're still growing. We are about 50, but we're mighty.
50 people.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You talked about this idea of mentorship, and yesterday I was talking to Andal, who, as I said, she is the co-founder of a company with her husband about 30 years ago called Coco Town. Andal, I think, is the only one on stage who is in the manufacturing space. And so they specifically make machinery to sell to companies that make chocolates that we all eat. And Andal, you had a story of, actually you had a very controversial and unpopular take on this topic, which I think would be popular once you tell the story that you told me. So please tell us more.
முதல்ல எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம் நன்றி இந்த மேடையில் என்னை உட்கார வச்சதுக்கு with all these accomplished women I hope I can share a little bit of my story, hope it helps. See, my take on the thing was, she said, empowering women in the developing nations. I said, it's like oxymoron, because the nation, whether it's developed or not, doesn't matter. Women, wherever they are, if they have to empower themselves, and they can empower the whole community. If you look at that way, India was the first country in the world to have the women prime minister. Then next was Sri Lanka, then Israel. So we used to say, India, Ilangai, Israel, had a women presidents. Even, in this developed nation we are here, still we cannot accept a woman president till today. That's sad. So that's why I said we can talk about generally about women empowerment, not as a developing nation, because a lot of stories come to my mind when I see the developing nations now, how women changed it. So one story is, her name is Wangari Maathai. She is from Kenya. When the British came, they were a very vibrant community. They knew what they are doing, because they used to cook with the wood like we do in India. So, but they knew which trees to cut, which trees not to cut, because it's mostly like a mountainous area, slopey area. But when the British came, they said, oh, you are, praying to the God. Like நம்ம வந்து அரச மரத்தையும் ஆலமரத்தையும் சுற்றி வர்றோம் இல்லையா, அதுக்கெல்லாம் வந்து சயின்டிஃபிக் ரீசன் இப்போ கண்டுபிடிச்சிருக்காங்க. ஆனால் அப்போ வந்து சயின்ஸ் இம்ப்ரூவ் ஆகாத நேரத்தில் நம்மளோடதெல்லாம் வந்து மூட நம்பிக்கைன்னு சொல்ல ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி அவங்கெல்லாம் இந்த மரத்தை வந்து உங்களோட ரிலிஜியன் சொல்கிறீங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு மரத்தெல்லாம் வெட்ட ஆரம்பித்தாங்க. வெட்ட ஆரம்பித்தப்போ என்னாச்சுன்னா நிலச்சரிவு நிறைய ஏற்பட்டது. அந்த நிலச்சரிவு ஏற்பட்டதுனால அங்கே வந்து மற்ற பயிர்கள் வளர முடியல. ஏன்னா அந்த மரம் இருந்ததுன்னா தண்ணி, நிலத்தடி தண்ணீரை கொண்டு வருது, மற்ற பயிர்கள் வந்து வளர்றதுக்கு இதாகுது, மண் சரிவை தடுக்குது. அந்த அவங்க வந்து ஒரு 10 லட்சம் மரங்களை நட்டாங்க. அந்த நட்டும்போது அவங்களுக்கு நிறைய பிரச்சனை வந்தது, ஜெயிலெல்லாம் போட்டாங்க. பட் அதை மீறி அவங்க பண்ணி கடைசியில் 2004 அவங்க ரெக்கக்னைஸ் பண்ணி நோபல் பீஸ் ப்ரைஸ் கொடுத்தாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் இன்னும் வெனிசுவேலாவில் நம்ம கேள்விப்படுறோம் எவ்வளவோ அந்த ஜனங்கள்லாம் கஷ்டப்படுறாங்க. இட்ஸ் லைக் சாப்பிட்றது கூட இல்லை, பெரிய ஒரு பிரெட்டு வாங்கணுன்னா கூட ஒரு பெரிய லைன் நிற்குது. தே டோன்ட் ஹேவ் இனஃப் திங் டு ஃபீட் தம்செல்ஸ். பட் அங்கே வந்து ஒரு சுவாவுன்னு ஒரு கிராமம் இருக்குது. அந்த சுவாவில் வந்து எப்படின்னா, இட்ஸ் ரன் பை விமன், என்டையர்லி விமன். த ஹோல் கம்யூனிட்டி கம்ஸ் டுகெதர். அது வந்து அவங்களே பிரிச்சுக்கிறாங்க, ஒரு டிவிஷன் ஆஃப் லேபர் மாதிரி. ஒரு 30 விமன் இருந்தாங்கன்னா ஒரு 5 பேர் வந்து குழந்தைங்கள பார்த்துக்கிறாங்க, ஹோல் வில்லேஜ் கிட்ஸை. ஒரு 5 பேர் அந்த குழந்தைங்களுக்கு டீச்சிங் பண்ணுறாங்க. ஒரு 5 பேர் வந்து நிலத்தில் போய் உழுது பயிரை களை எடுத்து அதெல்லாம் பார்த்துக்கிறாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணி அவங்க வந்து அந்த பீன்ஸ் வந்து தே ஆர் ஸோ எக்ஸ்பென்சிவ். த சுவாவ் பீன்ஸ் ஆர் வெரி ஃபேமஸ் ஃபார் தேர் ஃப்ளேவர் அண்ட் இது. ஸோ women in the developing countries also are empowered. But நம்ம வந்து சம்டைம்ஸ் நம்மளே செல்ஃப் இம்போஸ் பண்ணிக்கிறோமோன்னு எனக்கு தோணுச்சு. ஏன்னா இப்போ எங்கள் பாட்டி வந்து, ஐ ஜஸ்ட் வாண்ட் டு டெல் யூ சம் பர்சனல் ஸ்டோரி டு ஹோப் யூ டோன்ட் மைண்ட். எங்கள் பாட்டி 3ஆம் கிளாஸ் தான் படித்தாங்க இந்த பிரிட்டிஷ் காலத்தில். 8 வயசில் கல்யாணம் ஆச்சு, 15 வயசில் குழந்தை, 30 வயசில் ஹஸ்பண்ட் இறந்துட்டாரு, 4 குழந்தைங்க. பட் படிப்பு இல்லை, பணம் இல்லை, ஆனால் 4 பேரையும் வளர்த்தாங்க. அது மட்டும் இல்லை, நான் காலேஜுக்கு வரும்போது எங்கள் அம்மா வந்து தயங்கினாங்க, ஐயோ மாப்பிள்ளை கிடைக்கிறது கஷ்டம், படித்த மாப்பிள்ளை இல்லை நம்ம கம்யூனிட்டியில், என்ன பண்ணுறதுன்னு. பட் எங்கள் பாட்டி சொன்னாங்க, நம்ம படிக்காமல் இங்கே உட்காந்துருக்கோம், பொண்களுக்கு படிக்க வைக்கணும், படிப்பு தான் அவங்களுக்கு கதவை திறக்கும்னாங்க. அதனால தான் ஸோ எங்கள் பாட்டினால தான் நான் எம்எஸ்சி படித்தேன். அந்த எங்கள் ஊரில் வந்து நான் வந்து ஃபஸ்ட்டு லேடி டு கோ அவுட் சைடு பழனி. ஏன்னா நான் வந்து சின்ன கிராமம், பழனியிலேருந்து கோயம்புத்தூரில் போய் இதை முதல்ல வந்து குற்றாலத்தில் போய் மாஸ்டர்ஸ் படித்தேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் கோயம்புத்தூரில் போய் வேலை பார்த்தேன், அது மென்னோட. தட் வாஸ் நாட் ஹர்ட் ஆஃப் தோஸ் டேஸ். இட் வாஸ் நிறைய வந்து எங்கள் ரிலேட்டிவ்ஸு நிறைய எங்கள் வந்து இது பண்ணுவாங்க, கமெண்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க. பட் எங்கள் பாட்டியோ எங்கள் அம்மாவோ எங்கள் அப்பாவோ அதை பற்றி கவலைப்படலை. அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் இங்கே அமெரிக்காவுக்கு வந்து இங்கே வந்து திரும்ப அந்த ஐ குட் நாட் கண்டினியூ மை ரிசர்ச். அங்கே வந்து ஐ வாஸ் டூயிங் அஸ் அ agricultural research officer. It was called ARS, Agricultural Research Service, equivalent to IAS. But then inge vandittu, then I stayed home to bring up kids because appo vandu avlo Indians kadiyadu. I came here in 83. But now then when the kids were little older, I started a business to have my own freedom because I wanted to go to India when I want to take care of my parents. If I go to work, then I have to wait for them to give me permission to go. So I had to empower myself to do what I want. Then I told my husband, I want to start a business. I don't want to work. And he supported. That's how we started a business in 92. And then our company, parent company is called Concepts. So I took care of the company. And then I went to India to learn because the first product we sold was the Meenum grinders. I don't know, a lot of people, you may not even know Meenum makes.
What is that again? Tell me what's the name of the grinder?
Meenu wet grinder.
Meenu grinder.
Meenu grinders. Then we sold the ultra grinders. We were the distributors for whole North America. They didn't want to give us the dealership. They said, you don't have a business background. How can we give you? But we were persistent. Then finally they gave us the distributorship for whole North America. And then Amga Sonnamari, she said, the challenges are the opportunities. So when the recession came, that was the pivot. We had to pivot because we were depending on mainly the Tamil population to buy the grinders. Very few other populations bought, but it was, then when the recession came, we didn't have the sales, so we had to pivot. That's when we changed and we started the business to make machines for chocolate industry. Because Meenu Mix irundappo, I went to India, stayed there for 3 weeks, and then learned how to fix the grinders. They said, you are a lady, are you going to deal with the tools? I said, yes, if I'm going to do business, I need to know, I have to learn myself. So that's how we learned a lot of things talking to the customers. Then we found out there is a niche for chocolate making because before Cocotown was founded, somebody wants to start a chocolate making business, they have to spend at least, millions of dollars. But we changed it. Now people can make with the $5,000, they can get all the 6 machines because it's a long process, 3 days, 2 to 3 days for each batch. But now they can do it. So we started, and now we are in about 100 countries. So we have and then a lot of our customers are women because in most of the cacao growing countries, women take care of the household. They want to make chocolate and then sell it. So we are empowering women also, and also cocoa farmers. So farmers don't have to sell it as a commodity. Somebody sitting in Europe or New York fixing the price for them, whether rain or shine, they have to put their நம்ம ஊரில் சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல, விவசாயி சேத்துல கால் வச்சாதான் நம்ம சோத்துல கை வைக்க முடியும். ஏன்னா அந்த விவசாயிக்கு நம்ம அதுக்கு அளவான மதிப்பு கொடுக்கறதில்ல. அந்த அவங்க கொடுக்குற கிரெயின், வியர்வை சிந்தி எடுத்த கிரெயினை நம்ம ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணிட்டு அதை நிறைய லாபம் சம்பாதிக்கிறோம். அந்த அதனால தான் விவசாயிகள் அடுத்த ஜெனரேஷன் தே டோன்ட் வாண்ட் டு கெட் இன். பட் நவ் ஏன்னா நாங்கள் ஃபஸ்ட்டு இந்த சாக்லேட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு வரும்போது விவசாயிகள்லாம் 60 வயசுக்கு மேலே இருந்தாங்க. பிரேசில், சவுத் அமெரிக்கா, எக்வடார்லலாம். இப்போ நிறைய யங்ஸ்டர்ஸ் வெளிநாட்டுக்கு போய் படிச்சுட்டு திரும்ப அவங்க ஃபார்முக்கு அவங்க அந்த விவசாயத்தை கண்டினியூ பண்ணுறாங்க. ஸோ we are not just empowering women but also the farmers. So I think I talked too much.
I think they loved it though. You're getting a standing ovation there. What have you done to this crowd?
I don't know. All I have to say is thank you, and God has to be good to me. We got the opportunity, we use it. So that's why when there is a challenge, don't be disappointed or say, ஏன் எனக்கு இது நடந்ததுன்னு கேட்கக்கூடாது. ஒரு 10 வருஷம் கழிச்சு நீங்கள் அந்த நடந்ததுனால தான் இன்னைக்கு இந்த நிலைமையில் இருக்கேன்னு நினைப்பீங்க. அதே மாதிரி தான் இப்போ 2000 பேண்டமிக்கில் we didn't have any sales, But we saw, like a lot of countries, there was a shutdown. Like Philippines, almost 2 years, they could not even go to the farm. So that's when we started again something called, Empowering Chocopreneurs webinar series. So we teach now, not just education. So now we say we are in the business of creating entrepreneurs through education, equipment, and expertise.
Thank you so much, Anda. Give her a round of applause. Great. Okay, let me repeat that question. What's your name, sir?
Sampath, sir.
Sampath. We are a Sampath. I'm so sorry. I couldn't see clearly. I'm sorry. Let that go down as the most embarrassing moment. But we are a Sampath, sir, is asking. We talked a lot about women's empowerment in America, but not enough in India. So the question for all of you is the question, what can we do for women in India or something else? What is the current status?
He's asking
What
to
is
talk about the
current
status.
situation? The women, 50% of the election in any local body election, 50% reserved for women. Same thing, 1/3 of the women can contest in different local bodies. That is there. Even woman president and prime minister in India, that is not an issue. Another side, the women how they are living in the house, how they are controlling the men for every family. What is their issues? How they are getting the money to live every day? What is the issue? Anything to know?
So I don't know that anybody here is like truly Mr. Sampath, sir. I don't know that anybody here is like totally like an economist that can talk about the current status or really get into the in-depth. But I think that especially, and at least that what I've seen maybe, growing up as a child all over India, my father was in the army. South India, there's definitely education opportunities. Women are much more powerful. You were joking about, hey, they are controlling the purse. We men are dancing to the tunes of women. Great. I wish more men did that in India and in America, including, right? Why not? Because I think we talked about at the very beginning that, when you educate a woman, you don't just educate a family, and the family doesn't come out of the economic clutches, but the entire community benefits. So what else can we do? You know what? It takes two hands to clap, Mr. Sampath. What can you do? You can help. Everybody, each one of us can be one hand, because you can't clap with one hand. Even if women take power, if the men in their lives, whether it's their fathers, their husbands, their sons, now maybe daughters, sisters, mothers, if everybody doesn't support each other, everybody, and I don't care if it's men supporting women, women supporting men, if we don't love, respect, take care of each other, then we all will lose in the process, right? And so I think the discussion when we were talking, this panel is primarily of women who have been successful in our respective fields. And for us to be able to talk about what is the status of women in India, you'll probably know way better what is the status. You are seeing that, you're reading the newspaper, you're in the field of economics, you've done your PhD, right? You might know. But the bottom line is, each one example can change the universe for that family, that community, and the ripple effect is felt in the world, right? I mean, when I started Murthy.com 30 years ago, I was not technologically savvy, but I knew that I listened to smart, bright people around me. And the smart, bright, by the way, some of you have met my husband. Somebody said he looks like Shivaji Ganeshan, like long hair, beard, he's not here, but total artist. I joke, he looks like a hippie, like a bum. Opposite, we look literally opposite, right? But we listen and support each other. So if everybody just worked, supported, I think whether you're woman-owned, man-owned, teenage, I remember when Bill Gates became a billionaire and became, the thing, a lot of people in India were like, how are they allowing this kid to do this? You know what? If you're smart, you're good, you're going to shine. And hopefully these women, all of us here, and all of you in the audience, and all of your families are examples of what we can each do individually and collectively to change the world. And so I don't know that that answers your question, but it addresses a bigger issue of together we can make a difference, a big difference in the world.
Sheila, I think that's a great point. I think I also, appreciate your question. So the உலகத்துல நிறைய countriesல women ரொம்ப suffer பண்றாங்க. So நம்ம இங்க we've come all the way, we have established as women leaders. But what can we do to help other countries? We may not know the situation there, but we can definitely read the news and learn. So it is our responsibility, having come all this way and have established ourselves as leaders. We have to start reaching out to those women, start reaching out to those communities. So I think that is one of the topics that Soundarya wanted to discuss, which is the community involvement. How do we support communities where there is poverty, there is women who need help? So to that extent, what I would recommend is, we have been successful, like, Tamilkum Amudendru Pernu solra madri, nama Tamizhargalla onna vandu, we worked very hard, we, established ourselves. So nammaloda responsibility enna, namma kadamai enna? Namma kadamai ennana, idoda nikkama, idoda stop pannama, establish some charity foundations. Make sure that you reach out to these women, the impoverished communities in India and around the world, particularly in India, South India. Chennai ponga, anga poi parunga, which communities are suffering, reach out to them. So why am I saying it? Because, I'm very proud to say that we have established a non-profit foundation called Save a Child Now, that our daughters and my husband sitting here, we all went to India. ஒரு 15 வருஷம் முன்னாடி போயிருக்கிறச்சு, both my daughters were very young and they were really bothered by what they saw with children of their age, ரொம்ப poor communities இருக்கிறத பார்த்து, that's all they would say when we came back. They were like, how can we help remove that? So we started a foundation, non-profit foundation at that time called Save a Child Now, and we have supported financially disadvantaged women in India. And there is a village in India, in South and also in North. We have selected those villages and then seen women who stopped education in age 4 were pushed into marriage. Kalyanam pannidranga. 5 vayasiliye kalyanam pannidranga. So avangaloda future, avanga evlo brighter irundhalum this stop aayirudhu. So we went there and then, we helped establish a school for those girls. And now several batches matriculate panni, avanga United States vandirukanga padikkiradhukku. They have a great new beginning. So that makes you feel good, right? I mean, we are here, we have come here, we worked very hard, but we owe it to our country, our place, and let's not forget that. Go back to the root and do whatever we can. We don't have to start a non-profit. We can just donate to a cause there. Anga enna cause irukku paathu adukku donate pannalam. That is the only way I feel as women who have established here, successful entrepreneurs, can give back, right? We should give back. Otherwise, life is not complete. I don't think a life is complete if we do not give back. So all of us who have done something, who have established careers, made some money, please remember to set aside some money to help the others. Make sure especially you help impoverished women and children around the world. Because under communities, பார்க்கிறதுக்கு ஆள் கிடையாது, அவங்களுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ண ஆள் கிடையாது. நம்ம தான் we have to take responsibility. So நம்ம தமிழர்கள், நம்ம தமிழோட இந்த பிரத்தியாருக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணதை மறக்காதீங்க. Please always remember when you're successful, remember others. Please help out.
Agreed. And if I can echo just for a second what Meena just said, which is, we might, when we are gone from this world, which, by the way, as my father would remind, on the day you're born, you're guaranteed that we have a limited time span on earth, right? The only thing, no one's going to ask, how much did you have in your bank account? No one really gives a darn, right? People will say, how many lives have you changed? How many families have you changed? We honor our parents and our ancestors by changing other people's lives and making a difference. And similar to what Meena just said, after September 11, the tragic, horrific effects of September 11, we started the Murthy Nayak Foundation to women, children, education. We have a orphanage in Chennai. And how many of you, by the way, here in the audience, have spent a whole semester, 6 months, studying the history of Tamil Nadu? Anybody? Anybody here? Nobody, except yours truly, Stella Maris College. We had a full semester studying the history. I have 2 more friends. 3 other people in the entire audience. I'm so proud. I know more about the history of Tamil Nadu.
Good for you.
Because And my father said, history, the most useless subject on earth. And here I am, so proud of having studied it. I know, Soundarya, you have a lot more questions, and I know we're
I mean,
running
it
short of
sounds
time.
like all of you have such...
No, I
Please
just
go
want
ahead, Adithanar.
one point, sorry. You know, giving back to the community, அவங்க சொன்னாங்க, so there is... Yeah. Giving back to the community, பத்தி சொன்னாங்க. I think most of you should know the Tamil Nadu Foundation that has been doing for 50 years, giving back to India. So a lot of the Tamil people are, members of this. We have done a lot of projects. So please, if you don't know about Tamil Nadu Foundation, please learn about it and support the causes in India.
I'll just add one last thing. I know we're running out of time. Very good applause for that. Also, it's very important, right? I'm so proud that we all have charities. We also have Ahava charities. Yes, we owe a lot to back home in India, and we also have, I'll just tell a small story. There was Devi, and she came to my mom with nothing at all. She had her, just a single son, and she came home several years ago. This happened, and my mom and I thought we owe something to her because she's coming with a small boy with no needs met, basic needs met. So we told her, okay, we'll teach you something. So we started teaching her. We gave her a simple sewing machine, and we started teaching her, and that helped her to grow a family. Right? And then what we found was Devi was not only just sewing, she had these leadership traits. So went and we started forming a sewing class. And right now, she serves the community. She's a great leader, not by herself, but I go and sit in her class, and her class, other women come and say, hey, Devi is such an inspiration. Whenever I have a problem, and I come to her and can tell to her. So you just supporting one small act can change the dynamics of the entire community around there. So never underestimate what you can do to change a small life and children. And another thing that I'm also passionate about is, yes, we all owe a lot to India, but right here, I'm living in a very sophisticated city in the United States, and I'm so thankful for that. But look at your backyard. Just 15 miles outside where I live, I see women abused. I see women who are not treated as even some of our sisters are treated in India. That's their plight. And just go spend some time. All these women sometimes need is someone to build their resume, give them courage, just say, hey, you can do it. And simply teaching them small skills in computer goes a long way to women. So yes, we want to remember our roots. Tamil Nadu is our heritage. We have orphanages and women we want to build. But I also say, just go into our own backyard. And we support some non-profits who are in human trafficking. And it's so bad, shattering to just hear the life of like women, children here also abused. So just open your eyes for that as well. We as women are empowered. We can change our community. And thanks, as she said, God has blessed us in so many ways, and we are here to give back in all ways.
Yes. Thank you so much, Tharani. It's funny because you're all jumping up and down to talk about how important it is to give back. And I've never seen a set of people who are more excited about this. So I know, Melanie, you had something to say. We are at time, but we are past time, but it's still like 2 minutes, so we can close this out properly. If you have any quick closing thoughts.
So I guess I'm closing. So here's what I'd say, right? As women who are sort of transversing both the American as well as the Indian cultures, I feel that our responsibility is not just breaking barriers, but building bridges, right? So it's not just about talking about all of this. And there's probably two big ways we can think of empowerment. I heard the gentleman's questions back there, and I'll make it quick. So empowerment starts at home. What is it that we're doing? What are we teaching our kids? What are we teaching our daughters, our wives? I have a very accomplished husband who basically quit and stayed home with the kids so I could go on and become a leader, right? So you think of a journalist who's a stay-at-home dad, it's actually a really tough proposition. But that's what it takes, right? It's setting aside and thinking what's good, where does this make sense? And then from a global perspective, it's a lot more than just sitting on panels and having discussions at high-level meetings. It's all about then figuring out, are you getting to the end consumer, right? And in this case, if we're thinking of women and girls in whatever forum, and I won't go into what I'm doing because my colleagues here have done an amazing job. So think about translation, think about impact, think about the end user in this experience, because it's more than talking amongst us. It's about actually doing something. Thank you.
I will end this panel by saying one of my favorite quotes from Pink Floyd. Anyone fan of Pink Floyd here? Yeah. There's a beautiful quote that goes, "All you touch and all you see is all your life will ever be." It's one of my favorite quotes of all time. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for listening. This has been fantastic.
Check one. So thank you all. I know it's an interesting conversation. We want to continue, but we have very limited time. So thank you all for coming here and delivering this and sharing your personal feeling, that personal touch. And moderator, thank you so much for facilitating this. So we're going to go and moment. So we wanted to recognize you as women leaders empowering us, and a small momentum from the organizing committee towards you.
ஒரு செகண்டுங்க அப்படியே இருங்க. விமன் ஸ்டாண்ட் 1 செகண்ட் ராஜன் சார், அப்படியே ஜஸ்ட் ஸ்டாண்ட் 1 செகண்ட். சோதனைகளின் கொம்பை உடைத்தால் சாதனை பிறக்கும். அந்த மாதிரி சாதனைகள் படைத்த இந்த பெண்களுக்கு explicitly I just want to give you only one note of thanks to Sheila Murthy. 90sல இங்கே இருக்கக்கூடிய இமிகிரேஷன் சைடில் எவ்வளோ ஃபேமிலிஸ்க்கு இப்போ வந்து she may have like 1,000+ lawyers, one of the biggest law firm in the North America. பட் அந்த காலத்தில் காசு இல்லாத காலத்தில் வந்தவங்களுக்கு வழி தெரியாதவங்களுக்கு ஒரு 1,000 to 1,500 families in late 90s who has converted in their life with their hard work, and you guys are all just to stand up and give a standard aviation to her, the work what she has done. That's a respect for what she has done, and keep inspiring and keep do the same thing, and we are all blessed to have you in our community. Not only that, obviously ஆண்டாளக்கா அவங்க வந்து சாப்பாடு, நல்ல சாப்பாடு, உணவு, உடைங்கிற மாதிரி ஃபஸ்ட்டு கிரைண்டர்லாம் நான் 95ல் அவங்ககிட்ட தான் வாங்கினேன் ஃபஸ்ட்டு அவங்கக்கிட்ட. அந்த விமன் இன்னைக்கு இந்த அளவு டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர்மேஷன் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கிறதுங்கிறது ஹவு ஹார்ட் இட் இஸ் டு பிகம் லைக் அ சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல் விமன் இன் த லைஃப். ஈவனோ நம்ம பாரதியார் சங்க இலக்கியத்துலலாம் தமிழர்கள் இருந்தாங்க. 60ஸ்ல தான் வந்து இங்கேயே விமன் எம்பவர்மெண்ட் பற்றி பேச ஆரம்பித்தாங்க. அந்த காலத்தில் நம்ம ஆட்கள் வந்து யூ கைஸ் ஆர் கிரியேட்டட் அ path forward for the next generation. Keep inspiring. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
விட்டா பெண்களுக்காகவே 3 நாளைக்கு நடத்தணும் போல இருக்கு, அவ்வளவு பவர் இருக்கு உங்ககிட்ட.
Hello? Okay. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to keep rolling, and it's my pleasure to introduce the second panel. So up next, we step into a conversation that truly defines our times. It's entrepreneurship in the innovation era. Once again, it's entrepreneurship in the innovation era is going to be the topic for our panel 2. Before I call on to the moderator who will be introducing the panelists for this one, I just want to say today's entrepreneurs aren't just building businesses, they are reimagining industries from bold ideas to breakthrough innovation. This is where vision meets action. So Tamilல வந்து ஒரு பழமொழி இருக்கு, வாய்ப்பை பயன்படுத்துபவன் வீரன், which essentially translates to the one who seizes opportunity is a true champion. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Ms. Janaki Kauta, who is a technology leader at IBM, who will be the moderator for this session. And please put your hands together and welcome Janaki Kauta onto the stage.
Good morning, everyone. I see many of you are standing and having a wonderful conversation with your friends. If we can get some attention, we can do some. Okay. The famous Sid is in town, so all the selfies go on with Sid. Thank you. No, good. So, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all had coffee, tea break, because this panel is about to serve a double shot of innovation. I'm Janaki Kauta. I lead a very high-performing sales team at IBM Technology, spanning from mainframes to quantum. So, we are here at the Tamil Economic Forum to talk about the entrepreneurship in the innovation era, where AI, quantum, and even cricket, yes, if you heard it right, even cricket are reshaping the global stage. So before we dive in, I want to pause and acknowledge the incredible panel we just heard. Soundarya did a phenomenal job. So the women who have been breaking the glass ceiling. And let me just say, after watching them, I think the ceiling hasn't cracked anymore. It is pretty much shattered. So it was powerful to hear their stories, and it sets a perfect stage for the next panel, because entrepreneurship and innovation thrive where barriers come down, when new voices step up, and where we imagine what's possible together. So now speaking of imagining what's possible, I want to introduce our panelists. First, Cecil Sundar from Microsoft. He's driving cloud and AI in India, as well as in the United States, while pushing cricket in the US. I'm not sure which one is tougher, but both need strategy and stamina. Cecil, I'll welcome you to the stage. Next, Ganesh Radhakrishnan, a serial entrepreneur, holder of 6 patents, and someone who seems to collect successful exits as the way most of us collect our airlines frequent flyer miles. He is now on to quantum computing and AR/VR with Fiki.io, clearly allergic to retirement. Those who know Ganesh can vouch for this. He is definitely going to talk about quantum. Now in classical computing, a bit is either 0 or 1, but in quantum, a qubit can be both. He's going to definitely talk about it. A kind of Ganesh himself, everywhere, doing everything, all at once. So Ganesh had 3 successful exits and currently a part of billion-dollar private equity firm. He launched his new venture recently with augmented and virtual reality with AI, XR solutions called Fiki.io. He's also part of QC, Quantum Economic Development Consortium. His recent interview with quantum computing with Gopinath went really viral, sir. I myself watched it at least 10 times to understand what the hell is that. Worked as an IT advisor for World Bank, Johnson & Johnson, Rolls-Royce. By the way, I was able to travel in Rolls-Royce for the first time yesterday, thanks to you. and Canadian Pacific Railways Canada. Worked as a VP at HP in Geneva, VP SAP in Germany, IT advisor. I think I'm going to use up the entire panel to introduce him, so without further ado, please welcome to the stage. Then we have Michael here. Michael will be just switching back and forth to Tamil. So you pretend that you hear, otherwise you have your ChatGPT do the translation for you. So founder of Stellantis, a veteran of Microsoft, and now with Siemens, who has spent over a decade making sure AI and robotics don't just work, but work safely across borders. Think of him as a traffic controller in the robots about to flood our world. Please welcome Michael. And finally, J. Natarajan. We sweetly call her like Jayanthi Natarajan, we call her J, from Hitachi. She spent over 15 years shaping cloud, data, and AI transformation, building products, and leading global teams. Most importantly, Jay continues to champion inclusive leadership in tech. After a powerful women panel just before us, I think only fitting a panel also has a women leader carrying the torch forward. Jay reminds us that breaking barriers isn't a one-time act. She practices daily leading with inclusion and impact. So please welcome to the stage, Jay. So buckle up, folks. Between cricket, quantum, robots, and inclusive AI, we've got all the ingredients for lively, thought-provoking conversation.
Hello.
I gave a lot of introduction about Ganesh. I'm going to start with you, Ganesh. So how are you feeling today?
Feeling great, and seeing this many people in the room really makes us so happy that the conference is going great. தமிழ்லையும் பேசலாம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். இந்த கூட்டத்தை ஏற்பாடு பண்ணியிருக்க டாக்டர் ராஜன் and Napoleon sir, and to the great visionary VRS சாருக்கு மிகவும் நன்றி to have all of us here.
Let me just give a mic to just all of you. Quick introduction. So I did some of introduction, but if you want to say anything about why you're here today. Like I know you're here for a panel, but beyond that, if there's anything you want to share. Start up with Michael.
All right, hi. Hi, good morning, good afternoon. I'm Mike Oakes. I was actually invited by Cecil, a longtime colleague of mine at Microsoft. And, over the years, we just really got to get to know each other, and we talked ad nauseum about artificial intelligence and a lot of these really exciting technologies that are coming off on the horizon. And he said, hey, if you're not too busy, I'd love for you to come out to Maryland and talk to all of you wonderful people. So got on a flight very early yesterday, and here I am. But my expertise in artificial intelligence has been, even for me, I've just been really blown away by how much this field has evolved. And I know it's something that people as entrepreneurs are really focused on and trying to understand. What is this disruptive wave that's coming? How is it going to affect me? But it obviously stems beyond entrepreneurs. It goes to private sector people, politicians, everything. So just very, very happy to make any type of contribution I can into this field and help people hopefully understand more about it.
Thank you, Michael. And just another small introduction about Michael. He runs the AI strategy. He has been working at Microsoft for like 10 years, 6 years in Microsoft. The past 6 years, we have evolved not only as a company, the world has evolved into a very different place. So Michael has been at the forefront. I really, really appreciate you joining us, Michael. And he's going to head AI strategy for Siemens. So it's a wonderful, he's a wonderful resource as a person for this entire conference. But I also want to emphasize one thing. Yesterday, Napoleon Anna on the armiya chonnanga. Per capita GDP. Where are we? The reason why I am here is, it's not about technology. It is not about how much we have achieved. What can we give back, right? When Napoleon, when he talked about per capita GDP, he specifically mentioned in India, we are at $2,000 to $3,000 per capita, per person. US is 89,000, right? China is somewhere in 50, 60,000. This is the opportunity that we need to capitalize on, meaning the technology and entrepreneurship is the way to go. If you ever want to improve socio-economic fabric, and this is where our opportunity is, and as a community, like I'm very biased towards Tamil community, meaning I want us to prosper, and I have no shame in telling that, right? I have absolutely no shame in telling this community has legacy, it has history, we have done wonderful things in the world, but if we miss this technological evolution where the opportunity is humongous, it is not an incremental opportunity, right? It's not about technology. Every product and services, Janaki, just I'll take 30 more seconds in the quick thing. But if we miss this opportunity, we will miss a future, right? We'll miss the future, not for us, for the generations to come. That is why when we see people around the globe, when we are here, hey, it's not AI, it is not technology. Where can we put in money? Where can we share the resource? How can we do that? How can we infuse capital? The idea, the notion that we need to have, and the idea and the drive we need to have is, how can I infuse capital across these global opportunities? And one, you monetize it, you create opportunities for the next generation, and you progress. And again, less of technology, more of how we can partner with each other, where to invest, how entrepreneurship is core for success. That is the only reason why this country is in this place. It's not because of anything else. Promoting entrepreneurship, infusing capital is the only reason why US is in this place. None of us would have made it big if this country hasn't promoted it. Can we do the same thing across the globe is the drive I have. And as a Tamil-speaking people, let's support each other and share the knowledge and infuse capital and prosper. That's the main thing.
Thank you, Cecil.
Yeah. Thanks for it. Cecil சொன்ன மாதிரி நேற்று சார் விஆர்எஸ் சம்பத் சார் பேசும்போது நம்முடைய ஹிஸ்ட்ரியை பற்றி பேசினார், விச் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். இன்றைக்கி வந்து ஸ்டார்ட் அப் ஆண்டர்ப்ரனர்ஷிப் இதை பற்றி பேசுகிறோம். ஆண்டர்ப்ரனர்ஷிப் நமக்கு ஒன்றும் புதுசு இல்லை. தமிழனுக்கு வந்து 1000 காலமாக 1000-2000 வருஷமாகவே நம்ம ட்ரேடிங் இதெல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு தான் இருக்கோம். நடுவில் கொஞ்சம் பக்கத்தை காணுன்ற மாதிரி ஒரு 200 வருஷம் 250 வருஷம் நம்மளை சில பேர் ஆண்டிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. அந்த காலகட்டத்தில் திடீர்னு நம்ம வந்து என்னவோ தொழில் தொடங்கிறது ஒரு பெரிய விஷயமா பேசிகிட்டு இருக்கோம். ஆனால் நம்ம எல்லாருமே வந்து மரபு ரீதியாக நம்முடைய ஜீன்ஸ்லேயே இருக்குது தட் வி ஆர் ஆல் ஆண்டர்ப்ரனர்ஸ் ஒன்லி. இங்கே வந்து நான் ஒரே ஒரு விஷயந்தான் சொல்ல விரும்புகிறேன். இங்கே வந்திருக்கிற மக்கள் வந்து ஜானகி சொன்னாங்க தட் ஐ ஹேட் பீன் செல்லிங் கம்பெனிஸ் ஆஃப்டர் கம்பெனிஸ். நெட்வொர்க்கிங்ன்றது இங்கே வந்து கை குலுக்கிட்டு இது விசிட்டிங் கார்டு வாங்கிட்டு போகிறதில்ல. You need to understand what other companies are doing, what products they are doing, or what they are trying to do. இதை கரெக்டாக தெரிஞ்சு வச்சுக்கினா ஒருத்தருக்கு ஒருத்தர், then this summit will be a great success. I would encourage people out here, all the entrepreneurs out here, don't just introduce yourself, but introduce and talk to each other what each one do. And thanks for that.
Jay?
All right. This is my first conference, so thank you very much for inviting me here and allowing me an opportunity to share my thoughts. And Sampath sir, Rajan sir, Napoleon sir, thank you. என்னை கூப்பிட்டதுக்கு ஸோ ரொம்ப நல்லா மகிழ்ச்சியாக இருக்குது. So thank you. Along with that, right, like I want to echo what Cecil, Ganesh sir, and Michael, all of them touched on. AI brings a wealth of opportunities, but at the same time, there are also gaps that AI cannot fill. As humans, we thrive in human connections. And AI can't replicate that. AI cannot replicate empathy. AI cannot understand context. You can record all you want with any of the softwares that y'all have, and you can run it by ChatGPT, but ChatGPT cannot understand the pauses, the nuances, the tonal shifts. It can't do that. And as humans, we thrive in connection. So my goal here is to understand, as entrepreneurs, as we adopt this new technology, as we run in this AI race, quantum race, I have to say quantum because Ganesh is here. So along with all of those, right, like we also need to understand that human side of the elements that we shouldn't miss. And that is super important for us as a species, I would say, that is going to help us to move forward and go through that as well. So that is my plug, and I will give this back to Janaki. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. So all of you had a chance to, tell us why you're here. As many of us in the audience also, they're here for a reason. As Ganesh sir rightly mentioned, make use of this platform, make use of this forum, connect with each other, not just exchanging your business cards. Continue to stay in touch. Find your mentor, the next client, or next co-founder, whoever it is. Like, keep your eyes and ears open. So a few years back, I have a friend here who's sitting in the audience, Gans. He invited me to FETNA. And no turning back after that. The power of Tamil community coming together. இன்னைக்கு இவ்வளோ பேர் வந்து I call Caldwell as my, I don't know what to call him. He's my buddy. I can just pick up the call middle of the night. I can talk to him. He's there for me. So many other people here. So this is a powerful platform. Make use of it. So with that, I'm going to start with Jay. I know we had a very powerful women's panel here. That in itself is like a whole day conference. Even this particular panel can be a whole day conference as well. But Jay, oftentimes I see myself alone, I'm in sales. I lead a powerful sales team at IBM. A lot of times I'm the only woman in the boardroom when I go there. And then it was amazing to see another sales leader, that too from a Tamil Nadu, ungla madri paakumbodhu, oh my God, there is another person here. So I am so thrilled to have you here. So tell me some of the challenges that you face leading very powerful teams back at Microsoft, GM, and now with Hitachi. So tell us something more about in that, women leadership in sales.
So I would say I echo your sentiment. A lot of times I am the only women in the room, women of color in the room, all of those, right? Like I can check all the boxes of whatever boxes anybody has. And earlier in the career, in the last panel, they were talking about women being hesitant. You are afraid to speak up. And I would say I was super afraid to speak up when I first started my career. And it took a lot to come out of that shell and say, hey, I do have a voice. I do have something to add here. And it's your power, and you have to assert it, and you have to get people to acknowledge it. It's easier said than done. So that was a journey for me. And again, a lot of times in a team of a lot of men, they sometimes do not want to accept women being in a leadership role, telling them the direction, giving them the direction, studying the strategy, getting them to get along with those, right? Like, so in those cases, I can give you a textbook version of, hey, you know, like lead with empathy, listen to others, active listening. I could throw you all kinds of jargons here. But at the end of the day, you as a women leader, or at least this is true for me, I can only speak about my experience. You have to take your power and you have to say, this is what we're going to do. There is a time for consensus, there is a time for decisive action, and you just have to do it. And I would say it's not new, right? Like, we have seen Indira Gandhi do this. She has showed how to lead a nation. And so is Margaret Thatcher, so is so many other women leaders who are powerful, who has been in that position, who knows when to lead and when to follow. And that is important. And முன்னாடி இருந்த panelல பேசின மாதிரி, like, நம்ம கிட்ட எல்லா examplesமே இருக்கு. If you look back through the history, you know, like, there are so many examples. நம்ம history book படிச்சாலே we know how to lead. So that's what I would say. And again, like, you know, like, it's a lonely place. I would love to hear your experiences, actually, so we can compare notes.
Absolutely, like, you know, rightly said. So the one thing I want to mention here, like, you know, since many of you are men here, like, I find a lot of men allies in my life. I can just pick so many people, right, including the panelists here, like Ganesh, Cecil. He never, like, you know, anytime there is an opportunity, he'll call me and said, hey, there is an opportunity. I want you to lead it from front. And Ganesh also, you know, you're going to moderate this session. You're going to be a speaker and all this stuff. Identify such mentors and allies in your life. And I think that's been very, very successful for me.
I do want to add to you, I do have to give a shout out to Cecil, because he was the one who invited me here. Without him, I would have never had the opportunity to come here. So thank you.
Okay, let's now really go into the session. So Ganesh, what inspired after your last 3 exits, you turned your focus on quantum computing. Work closely with all the quantum companies, big companies, also like MIT research. Can you explain what you do with quantum computing? Let's keep it like brief. We have only limited time, but quantum plus AI will bring the difference in future. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, thank you. நல்ல audience இங்க. I think comfortable-ஆ நான் பேசலாம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். It's a natural progression when AI is there and generative AI came in. As the data keep getting built, because I started my career on the system side, where I write device drivers, those kind of deep technical things, where I make hardware like either a mouse or a backup, those kind of things to work. So it's a natural progression as data keep getting built, because I work on a deep area on the LLM side. So when I thought that generative AI keeps on generating more and more and more data, it's obviously there is a place as a next big thing. Because right now, the companies like GPT or like OpenAI or Gemini or Grok or Claude, these are all companies running towards the next big thing, which we call it as AGI. They are trying to accomplish. As we move forward, there are a lot of unsolved things in this world. நிறைய விஷயம் we can solve. Like when you talk about Alzheimer's, Parkinson, cancer, these kind of a thing, you need like a system which can run pretty fast, and also it needs to really process humongous amount of data. As we all know, LLMs are nothing but it's a huge libraries which are getting stored in an array format. So we thought, what is the next big thing? So I started somewhere in 2018 timeframe as I was researching, and then I got opportunities to work with companies like Google when the Sycamore was being tested. I could see that the power of quantum, as you all know, what a classic computer we use today, which can do what it can do in 10,000 years, can be done in 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes. When this type of a technology, it immediately attracted me. Then I was following and I was working very closely. That leap as what today it has come, the last big thing what Google or IBM, because these are pioneer companies, D-Wave and even NVIDIA joined the race, including Microsoft. When I saw that, I was invited by MIT. I work on a typical area on lung cancer, where people, when you give, when radiologists look at your PET scan, and we call it like low-dose computer tomography, LDCTs, by the time they look for a mass or a nodule, at that time only they will determine that the patient is detected with a cancer. By then it is a third or fourth stage. So MIT came with a research with the digital side, how we can find solutions for 3, 4, 5 years ahead. And where I got involved with a colleague of mine, we are working right now is when a baby is in a mother's stomach at a 23-week, we can go in and we can process data whereby we can detect not like 5, 10, 15, up to 80 years will